What's going on, people? Bear with me a moment. Make sure this is shared out. Hope everyone's having a good day. It is funky weather for sure. Hope everybody's staying warm. I know it is bad in a lot of areas. Hang on one second. People are getting hammered with this ice, especially North Mississippi into Tennessee, etc. It is really, really bad. Um, Hang on just a second. I'm just trying to get it shared to a couple of places. I'm going to be talking about projects, comics, movies. We're just going to be talking about a little bit of everything this morning. Lori Calcaterra is going to join me. Hopefully, Chris Hayes will get to join me here in a little bit too, so we can talk about Cowtown and Texoma and upcoming projects for Charter Comics, things like that. So bear with me. Hang on. All right. Hello, Miss
Morning.
Lori. What's up,
Hi.
Andrew? What's up, Michael? How are you doing this morning?
I'm a little congested, but other than that, I'm fine. It's
You feeling a
cold.
little better?
Yeah, I still have that
Yeah, that's damn cough.
stupid crap that everybody has. So,
I'm on
what are you, week
technically Monday will make
3?
week 5
Week 5?
of just the annoying cough. What's up, Dash? What's up, everybody? Good morning. Yeah, just the like I've been over the sick part. That only lasted about 2 weeks of taking over the counter meds and stuff. Feeling really weak and run down, and no fever or nothing. Thank goodness. But the damn cough, man. I'm on about 3 weeks of just the stupid,
Mhm.
constantly like you have to cough. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
I'm
Um,
still in my
yeah,
first I'm still in my first week of it, so that's where I'm
well,
at.
hopefully it won't last too long for you. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm sure if I went to like the doctor and got some heavier prescribed meds or something, it'd have been a little over
Mhm.
sooner. But being an artist, creator, we don't get health insurance. Um, and
Nope.
and I'm not paying a $200 doctor bill so they can tell me I have upper congestion and go home and take some medicine.
Yeah.
Because
They're
that's what
like,
a lot of it is.
sleep and drink lots of fluids, and that'll be $300.
Yeah, exactly. I remember one time I went to the doctor. I wanted to go talk to a nose doctor about because I have a deviated septum, and I wanted to go talk to him about getting that fixed. And $180. I finally get in to see him. He walks in, he sticks something up my nose. He said, "You have a deviated septum. I'll get the nurse to give you something for over the to take." I'm like, and then he just walks out. I'm like, I know all this. I want you to tell me what we can do to fix it, not some
Right.
medication. But yeah,
And
$180. Yeah,
not
what's
medicate it for forever. You know what I mean? That's their answer is take this
yeah,
medicine. And it's like,
that's
well, for
what they
how
say.
long? And it's like, well, forever.
Yeah, we talked about that before. There's no money in fixing shit. Uh,
No. No.
only in the treatment of. What's up, Dakota? Um, yeah, North Mississippi's getting hammered.
Hmm.
They already have thousands of people out of power, and they're talking about it's going to be weeks before they get the power turned back on because apparently one of the main power lines that supplies thousands of homes are down. And they can't get to them because of the amount of trees. So it's I don't know if it's going to be as bad as 93, 94 when that ice storm hit. I was in North Mississippi when that storm hit. I was I don't hell 93. I was like 19 or something like that, 18, and we were out of power for 3 months. So
3 months.
yeah, because we were in a rural town, way away from anybody. So our little bitty town was one of the last ones they made it to start cutting down trees and putting power lines back up. But yeah, we were out of power for 3 months. No generator,
Oh,
no nothing.
Lord.
Out of power for 3 months. Me and my grandmother. Luckily, she had gas heaters, and a gas
Yeah.
stove. So that made a huge difference. Um, but so you got exciting news because Path of the Pale Rider #8.
Number
Uh,
8. Crazy, right?
it's insane how fast it goes. Like I can't believe that we've wrapped up 9 books of Psycho Sal and we've
No.
wrapped up Cursed
I don't
Moonlight and Rise of the Mummy.
I
It's
keep
in
feeling like, "When's the next Psycho Sale coming?" And then I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, we finished it."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's kind of funny because people keep asking that question if I'm going to do something else with the character storyline. And I will let everyone know that there is more things that are coming for that IP. But it will be later down the road. It's whether it's a prequel kind of thing or what, I don't know. But fans have really latched onto that character. So, obviously, I want to make sure we do something with him, whether it's in a prequel form or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you're on Path of the Pale Rider #8,
Mhm.
um, and I think this might you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be the most ambitious one you've done so far for a Kickstarter with books, right? You got a good bit of covers on this one. And then you have the Angry Path bundle and stuff, which I think is the first time you've done anything like that for
Yeah,
any other
that's
path.
kinda unique to us, you know what I mean? Where we have this really cool crossover, um, and we've been doing like, for people that don't know our story, Chris Hayes introduced us at Cowtown Comic Con, what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Yeah,
And, and because William was looking for a female writer to write a perspective for Psycho Sal of a victim. And of course, I fit that bill. So we immediately were friends. We're both goofy motherfuckers. Sorry, excuse my
yeah,
language, but we are. And so we got along just great right from the jump. And so we came up with this great idea that as I write for Psycho Sal, I would get covers for Path of the Pale Rider from William as well. And then it's great. We can bounce our audience off each other. We introduce my audience to William and William's audience to me. It great. And so, but I was issue number 3. And so we kept moving forward. And it wasn't until last campaign, William got this light bulb over his head that was like, why don't I go back and I do issues 1 and 2 covers, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? Like, that's genius. Like, so now we have a whole collection of William Russell covers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so for the first time ever, I'm going back and I'm going to let people order previous variant covers. I've never done that before. Honestly, because it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Williams covers, you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't be doing it. So we'll have the Angry Path bundle, which is going to be super cool. I know there's a ton of people already excited for that. And it comes with all 9 variant covers, which is cool because there's 2. There's a Naughty and Nice that you guys, we released yesterday for issue number 8. So the Angry Path will have 9 covers, but I will also have all of Williams' previous covers available in the add-ons. So go get them because I'm not going to re-release like issue 3 and issue 4 covers. Like, nah, you'll have to see me at a Comic-Con to get those.
And that is the reason why I've had plenty of people ask me, well, why don't you go back and put this, re-release this cover, that cover for this artist or that artist? And that's really what it comes down to. It's because, you know, when you change covers at a printer and stuff, that adds to the workload and that adds to the costs and things like that. And people don't really realize that. Because most of the time, most creators and companies, etc., they don't talk about any of the behind the curtain stuff.
Right.
You know, we don't talk about prices. We don't talk about labor. We don't talk about the production, which is something now that myself and you and Chris and a few other people have started doing over the last few years. Like yesterday, I did a whole almost 2-hour video, and we were talking about the cost that goes into making just a print for my print wall at a show, then the cost of what it cost me to pay for tables and travel and all this stuff to go to all these different cities and Comic-Cons. And then the cost of the production of a book. Like, it shocked a lot of people on that video when I was talking about just the printing of Psycho Sal number 9 is $3,700 plus just the print. That's not shipping. That's not the creation of the book. That's nothing else, just the physical printing. And then you tack on another $250, $300 worth of stretch goal items being created. So that's the real reason is that right there is it's just too costly to go back, and you're only going to have, let's be honest, unless you got a really solid fan base, which knock on wood, I do. But for these other artists, you know, there's a handful of people that like the covers, but you can't really you can't justify the extra spendage and labor, etc., to reprint an old book that maybe 3 or 4 people are going to buy. So the fact you're releasing a full bundle, you know, like I said, luckily with our fan base, you know, that'll work in that scenario because everybody wants those. I don't know how many times I've had people ask me at shows, because they knew I came onto your project at issue 3, if I was going to go back and do a cover for issue number 1 and 2. So people have been asking for that for
really.
Oh yeah, they'll ask me. People who's bought every cover since issue 3, they've asked if I'm going to go back and do that, and that was kind of what led me into, you know, mentioning it to you. And it is a pretty smart idea. I think more creators should think about that. If they bring on an artist that's consistently worked on every book from a certain book on, let them go back and do a cover for those ones they may have missed. It gives you a chance to sell a collection to a brand new, you know, fan. But yeah, here's the Naughty cover for Path of the Pale Rider, our beautiful, sexy burlesque dancer that's in Vegas for this next episode of Path of the Pale Rider. And then the nice cover, beautiful colors by Arturo. I think he did great on the colors. I love the kind of pop of color and everything that I told him to go with on it, and he definitely leaned into it. I think that's going to be a really fun cover for a lot of people. And of course, that's number 8. And then we brought back the character I kind of created a while back for your throwback cover for issue number 2 that fans really liked the cover, which I'm glad. This was the original version of him when he debuted on issue number 7, you know, last Kickstarter. So we brought him back. I told Lori, you know, you're welcome to use him, add him to your world, and do whatever you want to with him.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
Needs a story. He needs a story. He's almost like a undead bounty hunter, I think,
yeah,
you know?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think that would be a really cool type of character for that book. You know, whether it's a little side story, one shot spinoff, or something, or a main character in the main canon. You know, I think a lot of
Problem
people
is I've written out to, I don't know, I'm on issue 32 at this point, so it's like
written out
writing
for
him in at the very end is kinda hard. Huh?
yeah, how many issues?
Well, it's 36 total,
Right.
and I'm all the way out to, like, 32.
God.
I'm at, like, wrapping up the last arc is where I'm
Oh
at,
my
so
God.
that's why I was
That's
like, "He's gonna need a spinoff or,
I
something."
think a little spinoff would be great, something to throw in there in between issues of the regular book. Kind of like the way I did with Curse Moonlight and Rise of the Mummy, just a
Yeah.
little one-shot story. Because you can leave it open-ended if you ever want to come back to it, you know, but you could do a little one-shot spinoff in between issues while you're working on other stuff. But yeah, I think him as a bounty hunter
How
would be
terrifying
pretty.
would it be if you're a bad guy trying to
Yeah.
get away and this I mean, this thing, it it can think, but it's warped and it's like, it doesn't need sleep, it's undead, and you can't kill it, and you can't get away from it, like, it just keeps coming. Scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's an apocalyptic cowboy version of the Terminator almost.
Mhm,
I mean,
exactly.
so and I think, and that's something else too. Um, you know, I'm glad I decided to do that with these little side stories with Curse Moonlight and Pat and Rise of the Mummy,
I mean,
and of course I have, you know, I'm working on Sentinel Veil of the Damned now. That one, that book's going to be heavy.
we haven't
That's going to
talked
be
about that one.
yeah. So that one, yeah, I really haven't spoken about it too much because
Yeah.
you know, here or there I kind of mentioned it or talked about it on a video or something while I was traveling, but what's going on in that one, it's a 3-issue miniseries, so it's a little, you know, a little bigger than Cursed and the other, but that one is set in current times, and it's going to be dealing with suicide and PTSD with military and stuff
Mm,
like that. So it's wrapped around, the story's wrapped around this sergeant who is back. You know, he's out of the military now, but he's dealing with severe PTSD from his last tours that he's done, and he has a twin sister, and like I said, he's back home and everything. He's dealing with this. He's dealing with the VA. He's dealing with not being able to get help. He's dealing with being brushed off and ignored and fighting this PTS battle in his head. And then he finds out his twin sister, just overdosed on a fentanyl uh, uh, happening. And so he's just at that point, the book starts off exposing all this, and he's at his wits end on it. And from the start of the book, you're seeing some very heavy stuff that nobody really wants to talk about when it
mhm,
comes to depression, and it comes to especially our military for some damn reason. It's amazing how, because I used to work with the VA when I was in the insurance world, and it was amazing how difficult it was to get medical records and stuff from them to get people
mhm.
their benefits. It was insane. I could call a regular hospital, send in an email, have that paperwork within a day or two. But when I dealt with the VA, it would take me 2 to 3 months to get the same paperwork. You know, and we couldn't give people their benefits and stuff until we had that paperwork.
Yeah.
So right out the gate, you see what's going on, and then he takes his life. You know, and he ends up in this in between called the Veil, and it's pretty much where you go, and you could be there what feels like moments, or you could feel like you've been there forever, and it's just a place of pretty much nothingness and torture until you move on to hell. And he ends up discovering that he's able to see demons. So in the Veil, demons are there, and they're just there to torture you. You can't see them, you can't interact with them. All they do is they're constantly talking in your ear. Just that you're pitiful, you're pathetic, you deserved what you got. You know, those types of things that a lot of us in general kind of hear in our heads, now. Self-doubt, self-worth, and things like that, and depression, and people with PTSD, of course. And she notices that he's able to see them, and he's trying to fight them off people, and she knows that on the human plane of Earth, that mankind are losing the battle, that more people are losing that fight and that drive to come out ahead, and the tides are turning towards more of the evil in the world. And so she pulls him from the veil and she sends him back to Earth, with enhanced abilities and stuff like that, to try to fight faster healing. He's
Hmm.
also got a 400-pound hellhound wolf that travels with him now, that she sent with him. And all he does now is just travels around trying to kill demons and stuff, and send them back to hell permanently. That's kind of escaped from hell. So it's more like that type of stuff. So it'll be more of a serious read. We won't be doing advertisements in that book. The advertisement pages we normally have on the inside front cover and inside back cover will be phone numbers and websites that people can go to that are dealing with depression, that are dealing with PTSD, veteran hotlines, and wounded warrior information, all that type of stuff that deals with veterans and depression and stuff. All that contact information will be in there. So yeah, that one's going to be a heavy book. So
when you planning for that one? When do you expect?
I've got the story fully written.
Yeah.
I've been working on the script, here and there, not as much as I should have been. I just had so much going on through December and January, well, December especially. And so I'm probably about halfway through the script. So I'm trying to convert the story. Like, I wrote the whole story out first, the concept of it and everything, so the characters and all that, like you normally do. And
Mhm.
I got to sit down and start writing, or finish writing the script for it. Matter of fact, hang on, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of the main character.
I like sneak peeks.
I'm still working on this piece, but this is the main character.
Oh, cool. That is
So,
a scary dog.
yep, that is a bad boy. But yeah, that one, like I said, that one will be, I think it'll be a badass read for a lot of people,
Mhm.
but it will be heavy. That one, we'll probably put a warning label on that one, because it will be dealing with suicide and things like that. And so, we want people to kind of be warned a little bit on that one. Um, but uh, but yeah, that one will be a lot of fun. And then of course, here at some point, I got to sit down with you and we start working out Down Cycle of the Blood Moon,
Yeah.
which I've been talking about for 2 years now, and everybody's like absolutely crazy excited about that one, because that's a big boy project right there. Holy Jesus. That's like, in the world of your Path of the Pale Rider, it's easily going to be 30 to 40 issues. I'm hoping we keep it that short, because it is, for those that don't know,
I
that's
don't. I want to
that,
like, gimme. I want to write this thing. It's a
that's what
beast.
that's what a lot of people are. They're like, they want it as big as possible. I mean,
I like
these are
that.
some of the characters in the book. That's actually Lucifer, in his angel form.
Huh.
And then this is one of the werewolves. We're doing something a little different with that book. It's got vampires, werewolves, lycans, witches, demons, angels. It's got everything in it. That's an epic book. Everybody's super excited about that one. And I'm glad you are too. And for those that don't know, Lori's going to be handling the writing for me on that book. And but it's pretty much supernaturals meets Lord of the Rings kind of thing. I mean, it's on that level of scale. Um, so give us a little rundown about with Path of Hell Rider #8, without dropping any spoilers. Give us a little rundown on where that story is, what's taking place in a sense, because I think you
Yeah.
said guys are going to Vegas in this one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of a little bit of a we've been talking about Jude's journey, right? So
Right.
issues 1 through 6, he is trying to find this dude named Dwayne Fink. He's this local drunk, who claims to know how the apocalypse started. Good morning, Jim. Nobody believes him because he is the town drunk. He's an idiot, who falls off tables while spouting just, weird things. And so but Jude actually believes this man and is telling him that he needs to go to the Golden City. The Golden City, the Golden City. They've called it El Dorado. They've called it all sorts of things, right?
Right.
But in order for him to get there, between where he's at in Arizona and this Golden City, there's this place called the Undead Retirement Community. And the propaganda is that this place is, oh, it's beautiful. It's like a resort and it's white picket fences. And once you're undead, you go there and you can live out your, however many years you're mobile
Right.
in this place and you're safe and you're not hurting anybody. And we have people to take care of you. And really, in issue 7, you get to see what this place is like. So, but that's right in between. And so, um, he gets enlisted by this group of banditos that are like, we will take you to the Golden City if you go into that undead retirement community and tell everybody what it really is, because we know it's not white picket fences and it's
Right.
not friendly. Like we know they're doing something terrible in there. So they put together it's really a stupid plan. But I mean, like when you're undead and your brain is half rotten, this is the kind of plan you come up with, right? So it was like, first you take this beta blocker, we're going to slow down your heart to 1 beat a minute. So you're going to appear like you're undead and we'll give you a fixed disc. And then you're going to sneak into and then you got to find out what it is. And then here's the antidote. And then you sneak back out and you come back. And Jude, of course, is like, this is never going to work. It's never. And he was right. Like the plan fails like almost immediately. So in issue number 7, last issue, he gets into the undead retirement community and it's literally the Grand Canyon full of undead. They just
Oh, wow.
basically they looked for the biggest hole they could find and they built like electric fences and concrete walls around it and they just started throwing everybody in. That was their solution. But no one would want to go, hence the propaganda, right? Oh no,
Right.
no, we're taking you to this great place. It's not anything bad, right? So that people would willingly go. And they just chuck them in and forget about him.
Mm.
So Jude gets tossed into this Grand Canyon full of undead everything, people and animals, and he somehow manages to get to the other side and loses the antidote. So he's dying at the end of 7, and his heart stops. He flatlines and falls into the electric fence, which restarts his heart. So lucky for him, he's still got a heartbeat because in this story, you can still like you're undead, but you can still keep going. So
Right.
I keep messing with people. Sorry, Andrea, because she's invested in the story, and I keep threatening to kill Jude. So technically, he did die because he did flatline and he
Yep.
died, and he just fell back into the electric fence and restarted his heart. So
Mm.
so he is now on his way to this Golden City. And so in the advertising that I've been doing, I've kind of let it slip, of course. It is Vegas. It's what's left of Vegas.
Right.
You guys, it on the surface, it's gonna look one way, but there's a lot of bad stuff going on there. Lots of bad stuff. And I love that William was like, hey, what do you think if I gave her like an autopsy scar? And I was like, that's perfect because in this world, it's like, oh, you got shot. Sorry, we're gonna harvest your organs. We're gonna sew you back up. Get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah,
Get
you
back
will
on stage.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I died once, and they asked me if I was coming to work. So I mean, it's
Exactly,
kind
it's exactly what it is.
of you just
Poor Andrea, I was so angry when I thought he really died. I know, but I mean, technically, he did. He died once, right? This is
okay.
the first death of Jude. We'll just call
But
it that for ominous
that's
reasons.
what makes, in my personal opinion, that's what makes great stories. Is whether you kill somebody off completely or it's a temporary thing or whatever the case may be, you cannot, in my mind, you can't create characters and give them this permanent
Plot
plot
armor.
armor that they're never going to go, or other characters are never going to go. Because the crazy thing is, and for anybody that's read Psycho Sal, we're issue number 9's at print right now, and we shocked the hell out of people on issue number
8,
seven.
7,
Was it
7, 8. We
seven?
messed it up.
One of those. Anyway, I don't want to give no spoilers in case
12.
somebody's read it yet, but we shocked the hell out of people because I'm a big believer in killing anyone at any time. Whether it's a supporting character or a main character or whatever the twist. That was one of the things I loved about. Hey, Chris, if you want to jump on and help promote your stuff, I sent you the link in the group chat. So I love it when stuff like when Game of Thrones did stuff like that, and these other shows where they were not afraid to kill off. When they killed off Ned Stark, I was like, oh, what the holy hell, I love it when you truly don't know. See, that was one of the things I was severely disappointed about on Stranger Things. The fact
they had all plot armor. Yeah, they all got out. They all got out, right?
Yeah, everybody got out. So I'm glad that, like I said, even though you did it in a sense of he's not permanent, but it gives everybody that shock. Because a lot of people won't even do that. They're scared to death to even go near the possibility.
I mean, like, that's the whole point of my story too, is with Judy. He is terrified to be in this undead state, and that's one of his motivations. Like, he's trying to find his parents who are in this place. So technically his parents could have been in that pit. We could have seen them, but he didn't. It was too much going on. Right. But he is terrified of that. So having that chance where he could end up as undead was terrifying, not only to our character but to our readers who identify with him. But I think that's exactly rid of plot armor, get rid of it. But that's part of it too, is like the readers need to be able to connect with these characters. That's why we were so upset about Ned Stark, is because we thought he was the main character, the one righteous character in this whole corrupt world of Game of Thrones, and he died almost in the first book, right? And so now it makes you question everything. Like, okay, if he's not the main character, who is? Right? And then you get attached to all these characters, and George R.R. Martin just starts killing them off. But that is like, it's hard to kill off characters early after you've introduced them and still have it be meaningful, right? Brandon and I have talked about this, Brandon, who's in the chat, the difference between The Walking Dead when characters died and Fear the Walking Dead season 1. They were killing off characters left and right, and nobody cared because we weren't invested in the characters.
Yeah, no problem.
Like, you gotta have that emotional connection first.
Excuse me.
So that's why I'm always like, ooh, they're making us like, character so and so, they're gonna die.
And Game of Thrones is what, like you said, that's what gave us that fear. Because let's be honest, prior to Game of Thrones, other than Walking Dead, now Walking Dead was a little different because there were so many people that died through that book. You knew people were going to die. Now I did love the concept of how they switched a lot of it. Whoever died in the book didn't necessarily die in the show, and vice versa. I love that concept. It made it fresh for people who had already read the books.
Yeah.
So that was smart.
You wonder, because you knew like, we're coming up to a scene where so and so dies. Are they actually going to kill them, or they're going to kill someone else?
Right.
And a big controversial one was when Negan was there with the bat, and we were like, who is he going to kill? And they killed extra people, but then they still killed Chris. This is why you need to be on the show, because that's funny. It started with Bambi's mother.
But think about that. Like I said, now you knew things were coming, but you pretty much knew the main character had the plot armor, because that's the way it's always been.
Right.
And understandably so, because people get attached to that main character. Like, for me personally, even with Game of Thrones for the TV show, once they killed off the core of the main people that we started those first 2 to 3 seasons with, I didn't even care to watch it after that. You got to the point where it was only Daryl and what's her name?
Carol.
The 2 ladies, and Daryl and Rick.
Maggie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maggie and the other lady, Carol. I was like, and then you took Carol away, and then you took Daryl away. I was like, shit, I'm
And
done.
then they took Rick away. And see,
Yeah,
but this is the problem with, I endings, in my opinion. You have to know when to end
that's true too.
something. Because with, TV shows especially, they're
Yeah.
adding new characters, and they even did this with Stranger Things. Okay, I wanna go on my little soapbox here about Stranger Things. People had a hard time with that last season because they spent probably the first 8 episodes on Holly and all these other kids, right, with Vecna, and it's
Yeah,
like, we've had how many seasons with the main character, and now we are ignoring those main characters. We're just getting there was no character development, anything for those existing characters that we love
yeah,
for the first 8 episodes, and I was like, "Why are they spending so much time on Holly and this n" because there's going to be spinoffs, because they're introducing the next batch. So that's what they're doing is they're trying to get us invested in this next group. So when they end this one, we're there for the next one. But it's
yeah,
like, can't we just have our moment with the existing characters? Can't we have the fan payoff? And because it when they tried to do all of it in that last episode, it didn't work.
yeah,
It wasn't enough time to resolve everything and for us to be able to say goodbye to these characters.
yeah.
And so everybody was kinda left feeling blasé. We don't really care about the new characters, and we're not really satisfied with what happened with the old characters. Hence why they came up with this conformity gate, whatever, and it's like, you effed up as the creator when everybody comes up with this conspiracy theory that this wasn't really the real ending.
Yeah,
There's another ending that's coming
yeah,
because that's what they're hoping and wishing for because we didn't get that payoff.
yeah,
So, that's what I mean, like, with TV shows, it's so hard when they're introducing new characters for the purpose of keeping the world alive.
yeah,
And I don't know if that's, like, executive decision, like, producers, like, "Hey, we're gonna keep the series going for another season,"
yeah.
right? So you need to figure out something else because it's wrapping up. I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
so
I
hard.
think it's a lot of it. I think
Yeah.
it's they're looking for that extra payday. They
Mhm.
know
About the
they know
money.
that they have um they know they have a piggy bank there that they can milk,
Yeah.
and they don't want to let it go. So, which is why they don't want to kill off any of the main characters. They want to keep that possibility alive. And sadly, fans, for me personally, I watched it. Not only was it dragged out, and that's something else you can't do when you have something. When you have a end of the world environment thing going, or your main characters are got to come to a head, you can't drag this shit out with these long walking discussions. You're on a damn clock and you're spending 20 minutes strolling through fucking Vecna land talking
That
about
scene,
bullshit
I
when you should be
we were all
running.
screaming at the TV. We were all like, "Ah,
And we all
ah."
were, what are you like? I mean, they weren't even regular walking. They were strolling like they
They
were
s
going down
they
the
had
street to get
stopped.
ice cream.
They stopped and we're just having a one-on-one conversation. I was like, are we what are we
Yeah,
doing
where
here?"
every
Like,
second counts. And you can't do that shit. But so it's the same way with comics. You can't do these. You
fluff
can't do a comic if you're going to do
filler.
9 books like with Psycho Sal. You can each one of those books have got to be kicking you in the balls. Every damn one has to be an emotional roller coaster. And when you take away the plot armor, fans are. I think fans get more attached to your project when there is no plot armor, or at least
Yeah.
I know I do. I love books like that, even though I hate to see some of my favorite characters gone.
Yeah.
It makes me appreciate the other characters also, you know,
Mhm.
and it makes me appreciate the story overall.
And
Of
it's
course,
just I
that's
mean,
just
like,
my
it has to
opinion.
make sense to the plot though, you know what I mean? Like, I never just kill off characters just to kill them off. Like,
Oh yeah,
the
for
Earth is
sure.
a really violent place and people would die every day, but it's like it needs to serve a purpose. And so, when we were writing Psycho Sal, the drag dialogue killed the whole vibe and took away the feeling of suspense. Yeah, Stranger Things was so good at creating. And again, I think it's like people don't know how to end things.
Yeah,
Endings are hard. They
they
really
are.
are. They really are. Um,
Creating a concept is relatively easy, and figuring out where you need the story to go is
yeah,
relatively easy. But when you
Closing
know
it
the end has to be the end,
up. And it's not just the ending of it. It's the fan payoff. We have to have that connection. We have to relive those moments.
yeah,
One that was really good ending was Breaking Bad. I always go to this one when we get to the end of Breaking Bad. We know it's the ending. Things wrap up the way that we hoped that they would. We still get that fan payoff. Everything gets resolved. Not everybody makes it out alive, but that's okay. Like, we
yeah.
were okay with that. As opposed to, like, just ripping the Band-Aid off like Game of Thrones, like, "We're done now."
Oh
Daenerys
God,
blew up an entire city, which is against her character, but it's a twist. I'm like,
yeah.
it doesn't
Well, I
make
mean, to be
any
fair,
sense.
to play a little devil
Oh,
advocate there, the Targaryens were kind of known for losing their minds at certain points. I
yes.
think that's what they were trying to lean into. I just think it wasn't needed and it was way too early.
I think they could have been okay, if they were gonna play along the line that Daenerys had inherited the insanity gene,
Right,
because that's what it said when in the book, is like you flip a coin and a Targaryen is insane or not, right?
right.
50-50. But, she had been showing us that she was compassionate and
Mhm.
kind and giving and just, and then they just, like, flipped it all, like, in one. There should have been a gradual, there should have been a foreshadowing to it, and there was none of that, you know what I mean? And now I really think that George R. R. Martin, if he would ever release those books, would have the highest grossing sales of all time
Oh
if he
yeah.
changed the ending, because
And I think he
everybody
will.
wants that other ending,
I
right?
think he will. I think it has to be a scenario of they killed the dead, they won that, and then they went after Cersei, and then maybe they won that scenario, and then people started coming back later and doing underhanded, dirty shit to where she starts getting paranoid, which is where a
Yeah.
lot of that comes from. They start getting paranoid, and it was just too quick. But that's a good example. Yeah, they didn't
I
know how to end it.
I
The two assholes
Mhm.
wanted to go write Star Wars movies or some
Yes,
shit or whatever
exactly,
it
and they were
was.
like,
Yeah, they were
"We
done.
can give him this ending, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll
Uh,
eat this." Like,
but
come
yeah,
on.
I mean, but like I said, endings are tough,
Yeah,
especially if it's your own creation for sure, because you got to figure out how to wrap it up, like you said, and give fans that fan service. But you also got to figure out how to wrap it up to where it makes sense for the story, or what you may be trying to accomplish with the story. And it is hard because you don't
yeah,
want to let those characters go. You
right.
know.
Well,
Uh,
and I mean, like, there's a difference between writing a concrete ending, like Breaking Bad, they were done. They're like, "We're not bringing back Walter White
yeah.
and this character anymore," right? They had a spinoff with Jesse, they could do a spinoff with Call Saul, but Walter
Right.
White, done. You know what I mean? Um, versus like, "Okay, I'm gonna use Path of the Pale Rider, 12." We know that there's more coming.
Right.
So, that's a different kind of ending where it's like, I have to give some fan payoff and I'm wrapping up this arc, but I'm also
Right.
opening the door with new questions so that way we can pick up and start again.
Right.
So it's different, but it is hard. I think I rewrote the ending of 12 30
Yeah.
times, something like that. I was like, it's still not right, you
Yeah.
know?
I
Still
mean,
not right.
Hell Cycle Sound number 9. I
Yeah,
mean,
we touched that a
that
lot,
ending,
didn't
my
we?
concept for that ending changed 3 times, you know?
And then we were finishing out the last page and it was like, "No,
Yeah, they were
no, we
changed
want something else."
how that, yeah. And I mean, there ain't no doubt about it. It's tough. And I upset a lot of people. You and I upset a lot of people with issue number 7 or 8, wherever that happened with her brother. And oh my dude, man, I got so many PMs or people,
See,
yeah, people,
I'm glad they went to you.
you know what?
I'm glad that those messages went to you and not me.
Oh, dude, I did. I got a bunch of PMs saying, like it just the PM started, what the
How
fuck,
dare
or,
you?
oh my god, and and then people saw me at Comic Cons and they just sitting there looking at me like, really?
And
That's
you were like,
wrong.
"I didn't do it. I swear to God, I didn't do it."
Yeah. So, yeah, and
Sorry.
then that was the other reaction. I got several comments from people at shows or on Facebook, where they just absolutely broke down and was bawling about the book,
Mm.
of what had happened. And that's what you want. That you want those visceral reactions. Especially if you're writing drama or you're writing horror or whatever, you want people to read that book, and that's the whole point of what we do, is to get a rise out of someone. Again, whether it's excitement or whether it's heartbreak or whatever it is. So I'm super proud of the damn book.
Yeah, yeah. I am too.
Especially what we've accomplished with a smaller niche market, like I was talking about yesterday. For those that don't know, horror is a very small niche market in comics,
Yeah.
where it's massive in other platforms like movies and TV. It's very small in comics. Up until Walking Dead, we hadn't seen horror comics since the 70s, pre-Comics Code. And then even after Walking Dead, we really haven't seen any horror stuff pop off until the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I
But
mean, as far
I
as
mean, like,
mainstream comics.
yeah,
Now you
exactly.
got a
But I mean,
couple
I can name like well, you and I are into that, so I was
yeah,
looking for it, so I found it. But I mean, like, if you were to ask the average Joe, like, "What's your favorite horror comic?" They'd be like, The
no,
Walking Dead."
yep. That's it. Because you got the couple little side companies that, through the 90s and stuff, that did like the Ash versus Freddy, or you have Vampirella that's been around for a long time, or you have Lady Death, which a little bit fits into the horror scape a little. But
Mhm.
pure horror, you really haven't seen that. And obviously it's doing better because now you have Marvel, who is doing horror spinoffs, and DC Comics is doing horror. And here comes Mr. Chris Hayes,
Hey,
the horror writer extraordinaire. Uh,
Morning.
good
we were
morning.
just talking about being proud of what we have accomplished doing books in a smaller niche market of horror comics. And you should know that as well. For those that don't know, Chris Hayes is a writer. He's also a comic promoter. He runs 2 Comic Cons with Texoma and Cowtown. He's also co-runs Pastime Comics in Watauga, Texas. But he's also written books like Don't Pay the Ferryman and The Waiting and Nut Brigade and all kinds of crazy stuff. So what's your thought on that? I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way, that horror comics are definitely getting a little steam right now, but they're the hardest batch to do.
They are. They really are. That, and as Lori can attest, I think it seems like the Western niche as well, because we all love Westerns and spaghetti Westerns. And, Lori took one and hers is running, which is great to see.
Put them all together.
Yeah, you combined it, but still, it's a horror style Western is what it is. But yours took off, where other people, like I wrote a spaghetti Western on one issue, and it did okay.
I want
I'm
more.
thinking,
Deputized was a great story.
Yeah, it was a good
but
book.
I didn't get enough feedback or enough
No?
interest there that I have 2 and 3 ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm just not on the cusp of pulling that trigger to say, do I want to spend the $2,000 to have the interiors drawn, and then
Yeah.
will I, get that back? I
Recap.
don't
Yeah,
know.
well, I recap. Yeah.
But
And
I
that's
like
funny
it
I was
'cause
working on that one. I liked it.
I know, 'cause you did the
I
lettering
love
and
doing
stuff,
that.
and the interior artist, I loved it. It was
Yeah.
cool. I had a good following on it, but I'm like, maybe I change it up and do it like I did the Doll Maker.
Right.
Yeah.
I changed the way I did things with Doll Maker, and I'll get back to that. But what you're talking about, the horror niche and horror genre, it's a tough crowd. There's a huge crowd out there. And to me, it's still, how do we get our stuff out in front of that crowd?
Well, the thing
mean-
that I discovered, and Brian Polito told me the same thing after I mentioned it to him. He was like, "Oh yeah, I learned that shit too," because I did a lot of horror cons in 2025. Then I did more horror cons in 2025 than I probably did any of the years put together previous. I did a bunch of shows last year, horror cons from big to small, and the thing I discovered, because there's being a horror fan, of classic movies and new movies. I mean, Tattooed, all kinds of horror stuff. Horror is a major pillar of
Mhm.
the world, with movies and books and things like that. But what I discovered was horror fans will buy all the t-shirts, get the tattoos, buy all the trinkets and posters and all that, but they're not reading comics. And Brian, when I mentioned that to Brian Polito, he was like, "Oh yeah," he was like, "Yeah, I discovered that too." He's like, "I used to do a lot of horror cons when I first started," and he said, "I learned quick, horror people aren't reading comics."
No, it's the
Hmm.
movies. They
Yeah,
watch the movies and they wear the gear and the merchandise and all that. It's all about the movies, which is fine.
oh
That
yeah, no,
movies sell the genre.
yeah, nothing wrong with it at all for sure. But yeah, so I did discover that. So, but the other thing I've discovered I've been doing this now for 8 years. 9 issues of Psycho Sal, two not spin-offs, but two one-shot books, all successful Kickstarters, thanks to the fans and my team that worked on all those projects, making it possible. But the other thing I've discovered, and you and I have talked about this, you and Lori and I have talked about it, is it's amazing how difficult it is to get mainstream collectors and readers to give indie books a shot. That
Mhm.
has blown my mind. Um, I think that's the biggest shock out of the creative stuff I've seen. Even to the point to where we've put big name artists who's done Marvel, done DC, etc., on our IPs, and even that didn't generate much of their fan base moving over to buy the book, where they'll buy every DC book they do, or they buy Marvel, which is why we try to stress the fans, give indie books a shot, because we do understand that indie has earned their black mark. Let's be honest. Overpriced books for shitty books that never got fulfilled, that people spent money on. But there are a lot of good indie books. Like now, I don't read any mainstream stuff. If I read comics now, it's indie. It's your books. It's her books. It's these other people that I've worked projects on that sent me their breakdowns of their stories, and then I read the book once I did a cover for it. What is your thought on that? Is it an issue of people are just so ingrained in I just buy DC or I just buy Marvel that it's hard for them to try some of this other stuff,
I
or
think
is it
so.
just
I think so. It's getting them to turn on to the indie genre because being in the store, going in the comic store some days and hanging out there and watching everybody that comes in. I mean, everybody grew up on Marvel or DC, honestly. I mean, you're going to be truthful on that.
yeah,
So there were so many indie books that came out that the stories were crap. And they just were. And that turned a lot of people off.
yeah,
Or, somebody looks at the title of a book or looks at a cover of a book and they're just not interested in that. And there's millions of indie titles out there. There's more indie than there are Marvel and DC.
oh
But
god,
everybody has Spider-Man, Superman, Batman all ingrained in their head. That's what they're used to when they walk into a store. Unless you can find that loyal following. There it is. Jim said it
yeah,
perfectly right there.
yeah,
So again, it is, to me, the best way to get your stuff out in front of people. You can get on here and promote all you want, which you do, and do a great job of it. They have to physically see that book and touch it.
oh
So it's doing conventions. But again, how do you get the average person out of the house to go to a convention these
yeah,
days to come out and meet an indie creator? Word of mouth is huge. So
yeah.
I don't know. I'm stumped like both of you guys are on
Yeah.
what's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because, like you said, though, that I do believe that's the pure key. Is if you're an indie creator, you have to do shows, because a lot of people have no clue what they want to buy till they see it or till they hear you explain it. And like you said, going live here on social media, you only reach a certain amount of people. The algorithm is always fighting us. Everybody's Facebook page is going a mile a minute. The world is in chaos, and that's all people want to post and talk about. So yeah, because Psychos like that shows, it's not unusual for me to go through 20, 25 copies of Psycho Sal at a damn show of issue number one, at least. So there's definitely people out there. You just got to get that connection. And I agree with you. I think shows are the main key to that. What about with you, Lori? What do you feel it's the kind of the same thing, that people have just kind of been spoon fed those major titles their whole life, and it's that habit buying?
That's part of it. I think a lot of it is name recognition too. You know what I mean? Because people are like, oh, it's Batman. Everybody knows Batman. Does everybody know Path of the Pale Rider? What the hell is Path of the Pale Rider? What is that? You know what I mean? And so with dollars being so close to us right now because the economy and because of whatever's going on in people's lives, it's like, do I spend my $10 on something that I don't know if I'm going to like because I don't know anything about it? That's what I think it is. So I think a lot of us, it's time. The longer we do stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, Psycho Cell, yeah, I've heard of that. My buddy got it. Wouldn't he? And he thinks it's great. Like, I'm going to give it a shot because if he likes it and I like the same stuff that he does, you know what I mean? So it's kind of the word of mouth, but it's also just time and exposure. So I think that you're right. We have to do shows, but we also have to do podcasts, and we also have to do social media, and we also have to do store signings. You know what I mean? Like, I have the best time when I'm in Pastime Comics, hanging out in the store and just talking with people as they come in, because that's your audience, right? They're there buying comics. So then it's just a question of, do you like horror? Do you like Westerns? Do you like what I'm doing? But the chances that they're into your genre is great because they're already there buying comics at the store. So you have to kind of rotate between all of these things to be a well-rounded creator, I guess. That's at least that's my own personal opinion. You know what I mean? I feel like you should be doing a circuit. You should be touching all these people, because the Kickstarter people are not necessarily at the Comic-Cons.
That's right.
Right. And the Comic-Con people are not always coming into Pastime.
That's right.
Right. And so you have to kind of do all of the avenues so that way people can find you. And that's really all it is, because all the three of us, we all have great books. People just need to know that we exist.
Yeah. And that's where also it's super important for fans to realize the importance they play in what we do as indie creators. Like, we need more fans spreading word of mouth. I mean, y'all are buying our merchandise, you're buying our books, you're telling us how much you love the stories, and then we very seldom see anybody posting about the product. And that word of mouth, oh my God, that is huge. So we definitely need more fans who love what we're doing, who support us, to kind of take that little extra step and make a post, talk about the book, talk about what you're enjoying, give people suggestions. Because I most of the time, like, I read tons of novels. I don't go to a bookstore and just start buying novels. Like, almost every single book I've ever read is off word of mouth of someone else. You need to go check this book out. So that is very important. Chris, give them, because we're talking about Path of the Pale Rider, but you got a new project that just wrapped up Kickstarter not too long ago with the Doll Maker, and you're doing something a little different with this particular book, with how it's being created, right?
Yeah. And I'm glad Kickstarter ended now. We talk about it so nobody can get a refund.
Stop it.
A lot of times that's it right there. One of the 11 covers that I did on this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is this your most covers on a project?
No, I don't think so. I think that was Don't Pay the Ferryman too. We did the covers back in 2021. But this one it was just cool. So the whole idea came up about this was last year. You and me and Lori was there, and Lacey. We were sitting at Texas Haunters.
Yeah.
And I kept walking by.
I was there, but I wasn't there.
You were behind us.
Because I was on the other side because they screwed me.
Yeah, you shot, which I still don't get why. Anyway, I don't get why you weren't sitting next to us. But, and I don't know what was going on. Somebody walked by with a creepy doll. And the way my mind works is, if I see something, all of a sudden that idea pops in my head.
Yeah,
that's what happened. And I remember looking over at Lacey and I go, "We think about doing a book about creepy dolls." And of course, she's all into it. She's, different anyway, so she was all into it. I'm online. I can't play right now, Caitlin. I'm getting called to play Fortnite with the gang, but I'm gonna have to
Hey,
wait.
screw your damn Fortnite.
Fortnite's fun, man. Play a little bit.
Fortnite don't make no money unless you're half naked and bouncing your boobs on a Twitch stream.
Well, guess you haven't seen my Twitch stream.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
All right. Okay.
Hey, we got to get our books out there somehow, Lord.
That's what that link was that said Daddy Chris. That's what that was.
Anyway, so I just started thinking, man, how can I tie creepy dolls in with the ferryman? And I was sitting there, and the ideas just started. And then I remember looking at William and mentioning something. I said, "You think a book about creepy dolls would do good?" And he's like, "Hell yeah!" And then Lori, I walked over to you and was sampling the hot sauce or whatever, and I said, "I'm gonna do a book on creepy dolls." You were like, "What?" And I go, "Yeah." And she's like, "Dolls?" And I go, "Yeah, nobody does them. There's a reason nobody does books on dolls. It's like that taboo, right? You just don't do it. I mean, you do it, but it's just weird.
Genuinely horrified at this project, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna back it," but oh my god, I don't like. I'm so scared by all of it.
She's adorable.
No. My kid. Okay, I have little girls that have dolls, so now I'm just like, like that goes. We're closing that closet. It's going like under all that. I don't want to see it. So
yeah, okay. So I literally was like, you know what? But I'm gonna change it up. Because I like the old novel style Stephen King stuff. That's what I grew up on. I got shelves over here of all his books. And I started going, I want to change it up. I want to change this whole way I do this book up. I don't want
it's creepy.
Just the original, hey, we're doing a comic, there's panels, we're gonna have one page, there's drawings on every page. I went novella style on it. I wrote it. It took a while to write it. Oh yeah, you were a doll, Cameron. 3 of you were. So I took it's literally laid out like a novel. So when you open the book, you know the first page where I always have my quote, right? My ferryman quote. You turn over page 2. Yeah, because page 1, flip it, page 2, we'll have the story. Page 3 is one picture. Right. Just like the old Stephen King style books, right? Yeah, like, you may go 4 pages of story, and then you get a picture. So the interior people that I used Jeff Muth did a picture for me. Max Lester, who had a cover, he's one of our customers, up and coming artist. I had him do a picture. Lacey, William did one, and then Hilda Chavez, who went back my very first book ever, Forgotten Isle. She's out of the Philippines. She actually reached out. She's got some amazing line work. Well, all the pictures are black and white. There's no color in the book. So I said I wanted true Stephen King novel style. It's not a novel, but it's about 32 pages. But you'll see a creepy little doll picture in there every now and then. But it's more about the story this time than the picture. And yes, when you read a comic, there's small chat bubble words, but people look at the pictures to see what's going on a lot to put it. So I wanted their imagination on this one. I want them to think what's going on when Old Man Whittle, who's the doll maker and who's creepy as hell. So when Old Man Whittle's talking, I want you guys' imagination I want your thoughts on what's going on and what things would look like. I want that in your head on this one is how I did it. Plus I saved money.
That's the problem though. My imagination is way worse. So it's like, ooh.
But I mean, the book's at the printer. It's already there. I mean, I'm waiting for them to invoice me. So they'll print them. I figure it'll be this week because all the weather, even in New York, they're out of New York going on. So but I mean, the book was done, and it was Lacey built the pages, which they look great. She came back over to me, and I kept waiting for Lori to go, am I not lettering this book? And I'm like, there's nothing to letter. There's nothing to letter.
I figured you would have contacted me by now.
Yeah, there's no lettering in this book.
Well, no, not if it's a novella.
No, there's not. But it's really cool. So I actually did more pages because I didn't want people to go, okay, I'm paying $10 for this cover or $8 for this cover.
Right.
Not getting a lot of pictures. So I increased the page count to kind of make up for that. But I really want them reading the story. Of course, let's be honest, it's the covers. The covers are going to sell the book. I mean, come on. Everybody's going to see Doll Maker, Creepy Dolls, and they're going to grab the book because of that. It's a one shot. There's not as always, I left it open because my mind, I could bring somebody back down the road in another story that ties into this, like I do in a lot of my books. I'll bring somebody back from another story. Every now and then somebody catches it and will message me and said, "Oh my God, I love the Easter egg of such and such you threw of Noah from the Forgotten Isle you threw into this book." Well, most people don't catch it, but I throw them in there. So we'll see. And then the one after that, which your fiance is part of, is called Tales of the Ferryman. It's ready to go. It's my first hardcover. I'm going to Kickstarter it. It's one book. It's one cover. It's done. Right. It's ready. It's 6 short stories on how people saw the ferryman. I have 2. One of mine is that I've held on to for a while. So when you open it, and William gave me this idea, the first story coming out will be, it's called The Heist, and it's Bonnie and Clyde with the ferryman. Yeah. Oh. I mean, figure out they rob banks, ferryman coins. I mean, it's all right there. It kind of merged itself together. That was easy to write. And William's like, why don't you draw and have yours drawn 6 pages, 7 pages, drawn, paneled like a regular comic. You flip the page at the end. Okay, now enjoy these other great stories from these other creators. And then every story will have a cover page, but there's no pictures on the other stories. They're just stories. That's Andrea cool. Andrea did one. Yeah. Ken Salinas' brother. Cole finally released his Wishing Well. He's been wanting to do forever, so we got his Wishing Well book good. I did another one. It's a short story that I've been holding out on Jack the Ripper. So I have that one because you never see anything on Jack the Ripper. So I have about 20 stories on my computer that I've done, and they're short. Over time, just little note taking and all that. I've just never done anything with it.
Well, I mean, it's a good way to stretch your legs too, because with me being an artist and a semi-creator with trying to get into writing some of this stuff with like Cursed Moonlight and so on, you're a full-blown writer. So it's a great tool also by switching it up a little bit, going from normal comic stuff to more of a novel type thing or a collection of short stories, because obviously a story has a lot more going on in it than what a comic book does. You get to dig deeper in a whole lot of that environment and that storytelling that you can't do in the comic, because you have to shorten everything for a damn, even if you're doing a 36-page comic, it's still way shorter than what a novel or a short story would have been. So I think that's still pretty cool. And then also the fact that you're using your platform, which you do have a really good platform, especially anything related to Don't Pay the Ferryman, that you're allowing these, up and coming writers and stuff like that to kind of get a little exposure to your fan base and give them an opportunity to be seen and stuff too. I wish more people did that. We kind of kicked that off. We've done it, I think, more than most have, with giving upcoming artists opportunities, or like you with the upcoming writers. I think that's really cool, and I think that's a great format to do it in. Because it is a whole different ball game trying to take a story and convert it to a damn comic script. Y'all can keep that shit. It's a pain in the ass. I've done it twice, and it took me, and again, I know it's lack of experience, but holy shit, you guys do not get enough credit when it comes to this damn writing stuff, especially multiple books of trying to remember what the hell happened in the other one. I can barely remember what happened yesterday. So I don't know how many times I probably bugged the hell out of Lori and Chris on Psycho Sal when they were writing their particular books. And I have to, hey, did we talk about this? Is this what's going on? Or is this what, because I'll have shit in my head that I thought I said out loud that I didn't say out loud. And I didn't have that conversation, but I thought I did. And y'all are like, no, we didn't talk about that.
Or my favorite was the one where I was like, no, we've seen this character. Like, we can't change this character. Yeah. Like, or no, you have to go back to, he's on pages this and this one. Go find him. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, you've got that message too, Lori?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got that. Hey, we need to add this. Story's already written and done.
Like, oh shit, we're on the next one, aren't we?
We're
Yeah,
rolling.
yeah. Like
But no, I gotta give kudos.
I did warn everybody. I said, just to let you know, I'm probably going to ask you 1,000 damn questions, and I'm going to forget half of what I asked you. And it doesn't matter shit whether I wrote it down, because I'll forget where I wrote it down.
Yeah, there
So-
was that. That's
Yeah,
why
see-
I start taking just massive notes.
Yeah, I got to give kudos to Lori. Like, I don't know how you're on 12 of Path of the Pale Rider. I
Yeah.
can't do that with my mind. I've gotten messages like people are like, okay, so you did Don't Pay the, like I just finished in January. We launched it. It's done. Don't
Yeah.
Pay the Ferryman, the final crossing. And I announced it's done. People are like, oh no, you're not writing any more Ferryman. I'm like, no, I'm not writing any more. Don't Pay the Ferryman, right? It's
Yes.
done. Final, done. I killed, the story's over. It's like you were talking about Breaking Bad, right? It's done. Jesse's gone, right? These guys are gone. That Don't Pay the Ferryman. Now, I have my Ferryman Tales, which is all my new stuff. That's going to keep continuing. So Ferryman Tales will always have something going on with it. I mean, but yeah, Lori, I don't know how you do it. I've sat here like with the Deputized, with the Western one. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 12 issues. I was gung ho. I'm like, all right. So I sat here and I was gonna do 12 issues on it. It was made up, and I killed off a main character in issue 2. I haven't released it, right? The book's not, but like I said, the first 3 are done. I've only got the first one out, but I'm sitting here going, this is me now. I'm like, I don't want to write any more of that. It's boring.
Aww.
That's my mind. That's why somebody messaged me the other day, like, hey man, why don't you do more series? Like, I love the one shots. You should do more and make a long series. I'm like, my mind does not work like that. I cannot.
My mind is like, okay, so here we are in Path of the Pale Rider world. This is where Jude is right here. This is where I want him to go. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, well, what about this? And what about that? And how would this character act? And I come up with just these, I don't know. I like to go for a walk. I put a earphone, like a earphone in, so it looks like I'm talking to a person. I'm talking to my damn self with the dialogue from these characters. So people just don't think I'm crazy because I have the headphone in, but I'm literally crazy talking through the dialogue out loud as I'm walking my dog. So, but I mean, I have so many stories in this world that it's just, and even Jude's story is so big where it's just like, it's the end of the world. Death is broken. How the hell did that happen?
Right.
Can we fix it? And then like all of the crazy stuff that happens in between there with the character development and all these other characters that come in and like what you think is actually happening. There's so much more going on. Like, and you know, I was telling people from the beginning, they're all upset about issue 1 with the bear and the horse. And I was like, wait till you get to issue 7, right? The good kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Not that guy. But then it's like, okay, once we get through 12, it's like the series is so crazy. It's 100% more crazy when we get into the next arc.
Yeah.
Like, it's just nuts. And so I don't know. It's just how my brain works. I want the big explosions. I want the crazy things happening. I want the twists and the side quests and the prophecies and it's like, make it interesting and make it good.
But your story is also one that keeps people interested.
Yeah.
My fear is I'm going to lose interest going back to Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
Why do you need 700 issues of Spider-Man when all they do is redo it like they just did again and make another Spider-Man 1 and we start all over? Oh, look, he's a kid. He gets bit by a spider. Jesus Christ. All right. It gets old, but people flock to it. Oh, there's a new character going to walk. Oh, he's got a new girlfriend.
It's the same thing.
It's the same damn thing over and over and over. But people flock to it.
You know, I wanted to say this too about horror and how people find indie and taking a chance on indie. I think that the longer that Hollywood sucks, the more likely they are to come to us, which is great because Hollywood sucks right now. They aren't taking a chance on anything new because of streaming or because they're missing out on that extra income from physical release. But enough with the reboots and the rehash and the recycle, and people are feeling that. And it's like the more we talk about it, like when's the last time you got to see something new?
Yeah.
And even when you see that something new, where is it coming from? Like Project Hail Mary that's coming out. That's based off of a New York's bestseller book that has been on the bestseller list for 5 years.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's like they still won't take a chance on something new. They want something with proven butts in the seat. And
Right.
so if you want that new something, you want that something outside of this force, I don't know, it's like a force feeding, you know what I mean? It's the same oatmeal
A
every
lot, a lot of it
goddamn
is,
day.
a lot of it is
Gotta go to
habit.
indie.
Yeah, a
Huh?
lot of it is habit buying though, when it comes to comics. Because I've had
Mhm.
conversations with people when I ask them what they're reading. Oh, I collect DC or I collect Marvel. Oh, okay. Well, what's
Are you
going on?
reading
'Cause
it? And
'cause
is it good?
yeah, that's what I'll ask them. They go, oh, I don't know, man. I've been so busy. I haven't read anything in like 6 months. But they're buying books every single month. But they haven't read anything for 6 months or a year. So it shows you that they're not buying the books because they can't wait to get home and read it like it used to be. They're
Mhm.
buying it out of sheer habit that they've been buying that same damn book for the last 15 years. So and I get that. I get that. But you are right. I think we need more word of mouth from the fans, because I've seen fans talk about their newest pickups from Marvel and DC this month, and I know they read indie, but they don't post nothing about indie.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, I think that'll kind of change the more we talk about it, the more, because indie is picking up steam. I mean,
Mhm.
shit, look at the numbers we've done just in our trio in the last 4+ year, or the last 4 years. I mean, I haven't asked you this yet, Lori, and I don't know if you have the numbers, but like with Chris, Path of the Pale Rider #1 is over 25,000 printed and sold books. Psycho Sal by
No.
May, Psycho Sal #1 will be over 10,000 printed and sold by May if I stay on the pattern that I'm on. So I'm not sure if you've looked at the numbers
I
on Path to
haven't.
Hell Rider, #1, what you've printed and sold, but I guarantee you it's in some solid ass numbers. And the reason I kind of brag about that for us is because we've done that without the help of some YouTube influencer. We've done that without some Twitch or TikTok influencer. We've done that without any help from comic shops of our book being in an FOC or some shit like that. The only place people could buy our books was in our face at our tables at shows, or when they joined a Kickstarter and buying a back issue. That's it. So so it's definitely picking up steam. We're seeing a lot more. Hell, we're even seeing people kind of copy our patterns a little bit on what we've done, story concept wise, which I guess is flattering to a degree. But yeah, like with Chris, but that's a smart move on your part, Chris. Like Lori's very unique. That's why I'm not writing Cycle of the Blood Moon, because Cycle of the Blood Moon is going from A to B, but then you have all these side streets in that series that has to be connected and touched on, like Path of the Pale Rider. It's going from A to B, but you got all this involvement in between. Psycho Sal was relatively easy in the sense of it didn't have all the side streets. It's literally from A to B. I mean,
Nah, we had
it
some
is.
side streets
Well,
in
there's
there.
some.
Not in the sense of the way your story can go off on this side quest. There's no real side quest for Psycho Sal. It's pretty cutthroat, straight to the point. You got a killer. We got to stop the killer, and this is what's happening in this localized area.
Go back and read it.
Is all over the place. What?
Go back and read it.
I was like, but
Go back and read it.
hell.
There's some side stuff if you let your imagination go. Well, on
No,
both
I
we
get
both
that.
wrote
I
it.
get that.
There's
But Path of the Pale Rider, in my opinion, is way more grand than Psycho Sal, with all the amount of side stuff. I think Cycle of the Blood Moon is going to be way grander in scale. I think Don't Pay the Ferryman I think it's grander than Psycho Sal. I mean, obviously it is. Look what issue #1 is sold, and issue #2, is probably doing fair numbers also. And then once you put it all together, maybe in an omnibus or something like that, or a trade paperback, it'll probably go relatively stupid again. So I give you guys tons of credit. Like, I don't think I could write one like that. I can handle a one shot, okay. But That's definitely a whole. But my point, what I was going to say, I think that's brilliant on your end also, where you don't. You're talking about your mind doesn't really work that way, the way Lori's does. I love the spinoffs you're doing. The freaking Valhalla. What we have, the Road. We had Valhalla. You got Don't Pay the Ferryman, but then you have the Ferryman presents with the spinoffs. Because how many spinoffs have you done now? I know Valhalla and the one about the prison.
Yeah, Shades of Death.
Shades of Death, Valhalla,
The Road.
One I just said, The Road. But you got to do more than that. The Dollmaker is part of that Ferryman Presents.
Yep. Ferryman Tells Dollmaker. There's a new one coming that I told William about. And so you'll be lettering it, don't worry. Because this has to be
you don't talk to me no more. What the heck?
You don't answer your messages.
That's true.
You don't have time for me. You're on podcasts constantly. You're out promoting your books. Anyway.
I'm giving you a hard time.
This one is so they're on TikTok. There was always that quote going around. And it's literally like you're sitting at a bar and death walks up on you and says, "Finish your drink, it's time to go." What do you say? And man, that quote will stop you in your tracks.
Yep,
because if you start thinking about it and you're like, that's it. I mean, it's time to go. I mean, he's here to get me. It's time to go. And I was telling William about it. And I said, I sat here like till 2 a.m. one time writing this thing. And because it was like 9 o'clock at night, everybody went to bed. I'm just sitting here and flipping through TikTok, and there goes the mind. I see that again. And man, it hits you. It hits you hard. And so then I was like, okay, there's a guy sitting at a bar. And this old man walks in, sits down next to him. And
that's what I was going to say, Andrea.
Yeah, I got another. Yeah, well,
order him a drink, see what happens.
Yeah, let me finish this. Okay, so there's an old man sits at a bar, and he looks at him, and that's the quote he gives him. But it's the ferryman talking to this guy. The ferryman's kind of death, right? I mean, he's going to charter him across the river. He's coming to get him. So literally, the whole book is this guy and the ferryman talking about this guy's life, and I'm calling it Ferryman Tales presents the final call. The last call.
Last call. I was going to say last call for drink.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's called The Last Call. I'm only going to have like 3 covers on it. That's it. I mean, I'm going to have one to where they're going to have the guy holding the whiskey glass in his hand. I'm going to have one to where you're literally, the front cover is literally going to be like the camera's looking at the guy sitting there with the glass in his hand looking sad. And then the other cover is going to be like from the back over the ferryman's shoulders and the door threshold, looking at the guy, and you see the guy's back and you see the bar behind him and stuff.
Right.
That's it. I'm not going crazy on it, but the story's deep. I went deep with it. So but man, once you get in your thoughts and you start that, what's up, Mr. Cole? It was like, man, I had to do this one. So that's one of my next Ferryman Tales spinoffs is that one. I was like, and it's not a creepy, thrilling thing. It's about this guy's life and what happened to him in life and why is he like this and why did this happen to him? And it's just the dialogue between him and the ferryman going to go back and forth. And it's deep. A lot of guys will understand when they read it, but it's different. But it will be drawn full color, everything lettered. It has to be because facial expressions. I'm like, I can't just do the novel style. That's not going to give this one justice. So literally, I've got the hardcover coming, and then I'm launching, which I just sent you the logo, William.
Let me put that
my
up.
Series, I got it. Issue 3's coming. It's right there. I mean, hey, that's me. He's so dumb.
And that's pure adult humor.
Okay, sounds good, Matthew. Appreciate it, bud. Yes, so adult humor. Oh my God. So if you read 1 and 2, which I know you both did, 2, I introduced Chip, right? The special squirrel who
he's special.
He's out there. Well, if you remember at the end, he's beat up because he get in a fight with the cats, and when they're talking to Punxsutawney Phil, and Ace looks over and he looks down, and Chip saying he can speak jive. You remember he's all beat up and bloody
Yeah.
and scarred up from the cats, and they're like, Jesus, dude. I'm picking it up from there. Except now, the way I went with this is we're going to talk about his life. So it's the Ballad of Chip, because I've had people going, dude, you just need to do a story on Chip. He's insane. I'm like, oh, I did. Right? It's already done. It's been done a while. So the girl that does all the drawings is Paulina. She's out of Uruguay. That's where she lives. So she's back. She's been back and forth to the States a lot. So she hadn't been able to do any kind of drawing. Well, she's back. She's actually drawing my Bonnie and Clyde story for the Ferryman Tales, those 8 pages.
Yeah.
So she's got 2 pages left and she's done. She's the one that did issue 1 and 2 of Nut Brigade. So she's doing 3. So
Yay.
I'm the way I'm going with this, and I'll give you a little teaser. Chip's going to start off. He's sitting on a park bench talking to kids, just like Forrest Gump, and
Kids.
wearing the suit. Give him some movie quotes. I've thrown some different movie stuff in there from different, but I've rolled Chip into these movies is how I've done it throughout his timeline to get where he's at.
Right.
And it's the dumbest, the most ignorant stuff I could come up with. So,
That's so funny. You're like, oh, we're going to do something deep and dark. And then Nut Brigade, you're like, I just watered it down. I made it
I got to bring myself back to reality. Yeah, I've got to with Nut Brigade, right? Because that's the one I can just let go and go, I'm just going to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And literally, man, when we were at MegaCon set up last year, and it shocked me. I'm like, all right, I got my Ferryman set up. I'm going to blow out of these books, which I did good. I sold out of Don't Pay the Ferryman 1 and 2. Those were gone.
Yep.
My number 1 selling book was Nut Brigade 1 and 2.
Yep. People want
number
that.
1 selling book. And I took 40 copies each. And 40 doesn't sound a lot to people on 40. That's it. When you're a creator and you take 40 copies of a book to a show, that's a lot of books. Yeah. I mean, that's 80 right there at, $10 each. And then on top of all the other books I had there, I mean, I had a killer show. It was the biggest show I've ever done. Show. But to set up Nut Brigade like I did, I was like, what the heck? I did not see that. And I remember looking at William, my number 1 selling book is Nut Brigade. And I know what it was because I had my rack up there. But on the right, I had a little taller rack, and I had Nut Brigade 1 and 2. So the squirrel covers were catching people. Like, they were stopping, like, what is this? Because it was the squirrel covers that was just not right. And I would tell them about it. And, I got to get that. Let me have it. Because once they hear it's cross a Family Guy in South Park with assassin squirrels, that's it. People want it. And so number 3, I'm pretty happy about it. I can't wait to get that one drawn and get it out. It's going to be hilarious. Laura, you'll get the script soon because you letter it. So.
I know Chris is like, almost let things your way.
You'll edit it for me, I'm sure, and go, you got too many comments.
It's one of those things like, I don't know if you remember or not, but, that's one of the things I was telling you, like when we were going to MegaCon, because that's the first time you had ever sat up at MegaCon. Is like my 4th year. And one of the things I had told Chris, I was like, trust me, at these bigger shows, New York and MegaCon and so on, there's a lot of people buying indie. And I was like, make sure you bring a bunch of Don't Pay the Ferryman. Make sure you bring a bunch of Nut Brigade, because people want, especially Nut Brigade, because it is different. There's nothing like it on the market. I mean, it's a group of damn squirrels that are assassins. I mean, it's so out of the blue kind of crazy stuff. It's just insane. And and people ate it up. I can't keep Nut Brigade on my shelf. I've restocked it. I've had issue number 1, I sold out. I've had issue number 2 that I did a cover for, sold out of the regular cover and the black and whites I had. I put in a reorder to Chris at one point and sold out of those. And now I've got another reorder to Chris. To
send me that cover again, right there.
Yeah. Hold on. And that one.
Yep. Yeah.
What about it?
Send that to me.
Oh, send it to you. Okay. All right. I will in just a second. All right, I'll do it in a second. I got it on my phone. Oh crap, no. Almost hit the wrong button. But yes. So like people hear that and they go, "Oh, you only had 40 books at a show." Most creators are lucky to sell 2 or 3 books of one book at a show. So you took, I think it was 30 or 40 copies of your Don't Pay the Ferryman #1 MegaCon exclusive that we did, sold
25.
out.
Yeah, no, 30. We did 30. We did 30.
I'm pretty sure it was like 30 at minimum.
Yeah.
You sold out of those. Then you took Nut Brigade. You had 40 copies of that. You sold out of that. I took 75 copies of Psycho Sound #1 to that show. I brought 5 copies home or 6 copies home. That's huge. And if Chris had brought more damn squirrel books, he would have sold out of those. People, I think that's why Path of the Pale Rider does well. I think that's why the Don't Pay the Ferryman and especially Nut Brigade and Psycho Sound, I think that's why those are doing so well, is because it is way outside of the majority of what everybody else has. Most of the people are doing kid style books, or they're doing superhero books, or they're doing TNA books, borderline porn almost in the indie community. Oh yeah, it sells. I mean, I can't blame them for playing the game, but yeah, if you guys haven't read Nut Brigade, you need to get on Charter Comics or message Chris or something and get those books ordered, because they really are good damn books. I mean, they're a trip. And is issue #3 the final book for that one, or
no?
Good.
No.
Okay, good.
I put them out whatever. I started off hot with 1 and 2, and then again, the way my mind goes, I'm like, all right, I got to do 3. I didn't have a story yet for 3. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do 3. Oh, well, hold on, let's get this Ferryman one done. Oh, I feel like writing a Western. Let's do this. Oh, let's do this over here. Oh, I got this new Ferryman, because they just keep popping in. When I get one in that pops in my head, I have to get that book out, right? Or it's gone. Because when I say that, I can send you my file folder, and literally there's 16 folders that I have sitting here of stories that I started a script, and they're not even close to being done. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I want to get this done. And I start writing it, and then something will happen at the house or work, or I got to go to a food shop, and I just never do it. And then another idea pops in my head. So I start a new folder, and I start that. Well, just the other day, I was cleaning up files. I was like, oh, dang, that would have been a good story if I'd have put that out a while back. I should probably do that. But now I've got all these. I'm like, maybe I'll turn a couple of these into the short stories, right? Because I can do 6 pages really fast. That's easy. Which, Lori, if you want to write a Ferryman 6-page short story, I got room for another story.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well,
got to get another A-lister in there. So
especially one that does as many podcasts as she does.
I know.
She's like the podcast whisperer.
You get a hard copy. You'll get a hardcover copy. I mean, it's pretty cool. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sold.
Matthew, he's got all kinds of crazy statues back there behind him. This whole house is like a museum.
Yeah, it kind of is. Mine's almost like a Victorian museum with statues thrown in. My addiction, it's definitely I'm pretty sure cocaine and hookers would be cheaper, but I picked the wrong thing to want to be a habit for.
You need to buy an actual castle. I know you were looking at castles for venues, but like, go find an actual castle and live in it.
I was talking to Andrea.
You can collect teeth.
Did what?
You collect teeth.
Teeth?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Well, who collects them? Serial killers. Your mind goes that route. Just
you start collecting body parts.
They just arrested a dude for that. Remember?
Well, maybe we need somebody to be. Maybe he needs to be arrested. That way, more profile out there.
That was living next to that mausoleum, and he was just freeing the people from their mausoleums and relocating them into his house. He had like a whole family. He had finished his collection of like the Foster family.
Well, there you go. I mean, some people already think Psycho Sal's an autobiography. So, I mean, I did spend a lot of time in New Orleans. So, but Yeah, but yeah, that's something me and Andrew actually talked about. I'm
Collecting
thinking
teeth?
no about building an actual house that has more of a castle feel to it than a
Yeah.
house.
Mhm.
I can do the majority of the damn work my damn self. So, you know, I used to do construction, so that's not a problem. But so Chris, let's talk about, we talked about books, we talked about Indy, we talked about the creating process of what you kind of do and what Lori kind of does with hers. You also, again, a very unique situation. You not only own a comic shop in Texas, in which if none of you have been to Pastime Comics in Watauga, Texas, you need to go check it out.
Yeah.
It's actually a really badass store.
Mhm.
Tons of back issues, tons of other stuff, statues, etc. But you and Kim put on 2 Comic Cons, and
Yes.
with Texoma and Cowtown. And let's talk about Texoma for a moment, because I've done that show since the first show, and this is your 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys do old school type Comic-Con and old school type promoting, like boots on the ground type promoting. And you and Kim absolutely floored me 2 years ago when I did the first Texoma in Durant, Oklahoma. Not only in the way you promote, which is a huge difference than 99% of the other Comic Cons, but the way you, and I mean promoting the people that's at your show, but also the way you promote with the old school boots on the ground. Give us a rundown of that. What in the hell made you decide you want to do your own Comic Con? And then what made you decide to take those extra steps to make sure that it sets you apart from any of the others? Because that show blew me away. Y'all had what was it, almost 4,000 people that weekend?
We had over 5,000 in year one.
Holy shit. I knew it was
look at those aisles. Hold on. Matthew, I'm going to get with you on Cowtown in July, actually. It's in Waxahachie. Matthew Cole's on here. He's another creator. His books are public. He does the Glopple and Adventures of Pooh Bear and kids' books that came out. So he does well as well. So thanks for watching, commenting. What got me started on Comic Cons? Actually, you know what?
That's no easy thing.
No, you know what we did? We started a little show when Cole was going to high school. He went to a high school called Haltom over here, and we were part of the Booster Club. So we had the store, and me and Julian were like, "Man, let's just put on these little toy shows each month." They charged us a couple of $100 to rent the cafeteria on a Saturday at Haltom, and we charged like $25 a table. Had about 30 tables. We gave free admission, but we gave any of the extra money made off table sales, we gave it back to the Booster Club. So it went back into the football program. That's how I got started. And it grew like fast because we were doing every month, second Saturday of every month, little toy show, comic toy show, and we started getting a loyal following. We started having cosplayers come out and set up. We bring in a couple of voice actor guests. It didn't cost us nothing, but everybody had it on their calendar, and it was just getting busier and busier. Well, then I was sitting there one day, and I don't remember how we got started. Like, what was the idea to say, hey, we should put on our own Comic Con? I think I have a good idea because we ran a comic store. We would set up at Comic Cons. I did my own books. I would set up at Comic Cons, and I'm like, where's when you guys are there, I'm like, man, this Comic Con's kind of slow. You'd think you'd see a promoter walking around talking to people, or this show's really good. You don't see anybody. Man, I couldn't do that. I'd have to be out talking to everybody. What's going on? Or why they do this? Why are they charging this? Oh my God, you're charging this much for a table? That's ridiculous. And I think it just came out like, let's just run one of our own. There's not one here in Fort Worth. There wasn't at the time. Nothing was in Fort Worth. Your dog must have heard mine. And
he was very upset about what you just said. He left.
I think so. He's coming to Fort Worth.
He was so upset.
Andy's mom comment. So I think Kim and I got together and just said, let's put one in Hearst. Let's try it. Right? We went and talked to the convention center, got the pricing, started putting it out. I think that thing sold out in a month for vendors. Like, we did not expect it at all. We were like, holy crud. And also remember, our first show was during COVID.
Yep.
Nobody else had a show. Everybody, all the shows canceled. So we're like, everything's opening back up.
Yeah.
People want to get out of their house. It's in October. Let's do it. And man, we had 2,000 people through the door that first show in Little Hurst Conference Center, and it was a huge hit. We weren't expecting it. And then we did our second one, and then our third one was a horror con that we put on. Brought in some horror guests, which did really well. And then we moved it to Will Rogers. First year at Will Rogers was good. Second year, we never get over that 2,000 attendance threshold. Okay, fine.
To be fair to you guys, though, that second year in Will Rogers, it was still decent numbers. But to be fair to you guys, something happened that you had absolutely no control over. Texas, that Dallas-Fort Worth area, decided to move their fair from
State
where
fair.
it originally was dated to the very same weekend of yours. And it was like 75-degree weather, in the middle of damn summer in Texas. So everybody was at the fairgrounds. So.
Well, and usually what happens if you're joining if you see people starting a con, or doing a con, you're like, why'd they pick those dates? Now, like with us, we have to book a year out. We have to book our dates. So when Texoma ends, February 23rd is that Monday, right? We're already going to be booking 2020. Where are we in? 2027 dates. Right. So we don't know what's going on. We don't know what the weather's going to do, right? We have to lock those dates in to get the facility. So we had to do that with Will Rogers after year one. That very Monday, we didn't have time to relax. We're back at Will Rogers sitting in the office having to book the next year.
Right.
Well, you're right. That next year after we're booked, we can't move our dates.
Right.
So we're sitting there and we're getting closer. Oh, the state fair decided to move their show up a week. What? They're moving their opening date up a week. Oh, then there's a huge show that decided to come in and do a massive show in Arlington. Okay, oops, okay. Oh, well, TCU now puts out their football schedule, which their stadium's 5 miles up the street, not even 5 miles, 5 minutes up the street.
Right.
TCU's a big college in Fort Worth. Well, they're having a homecoming game against Texas Tech. You're like, Jesus, come on. Can we not catch a break?
Yeah.
That hurt. We also decided to expand the room at Will Rogers on year two and open up another 15,000 square feet.
Yep.
Where we sold out of the booths.
Yeah.
But the people walking in, it didn't look as full. We still had the head count, but you got a bigger room, doesn't look as full. Okay.
Right.
So we're like, all right, let's move it from Will Rogers because the dates moving to the year after that, we're like, we can't use those dates, the state fair, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's move it. The only ones we could find around here was Dickies, which was not last year or the year before. Dickies was great. I mean, Dickies is the Mecca conference, convention center in Fort Worth. All right, we're going to do it at Dickies. Man, weirdest setup we've ever had to do. It was walk in, they go to the right. Yeah, it was weird. And then we had issues with parking. I mean, here's us.
And they raised the price. Didn't they say it was closed at some point, and then they raised the price another $10?
Yeah. Well, they hit the way they do conventions at Dickies. We don't get the upstairs, right, with the arena. I get it. We're underneath the ground. We're in the pavilion area. It's still good. I mean, it's big though, and we had live wrestling going on. First time ever. We were excited about that, and then all of a sudden you're having to deal with. We don't like having. You guys have to pay to park. We don't like it. I'm going to be honest because I don't like going to shows and having to pay to park. It's part of it. Yeah, you do it. We don't like it because guess what? They pay to park, then they pay to get in. Takes money out of y'all's pockets as creators and vendors. Because when I do, if you notice, at every Comic Con we've set up, my stuff is never set up.
Right.
Because I'm not there as a creator. I'm there as a promoter to take the heat, get yelled at, whatever. Making sure everything's going good. And they all run smooth. But, we're there. Kim had so many issues with the parking people because it started off, we negotiated. Okay, well, Will Rogers was $12 to park. And Dickies is like, oh, I can't do that. our parking's $30-something. Well, we can't do that then. We can't hold it here. We can't charge our people. Okay, we'll negotiate. All your parking will be $15. Okay, people will pay that. That's fine. We'll do that. Parking was $15. An hour in on Saturday, they jacked the price up to $30 parking because they were getting ready for their concert that wouldn't even start until 7 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
And our show started at 9:30 that morning. And I remember Kim going out there and having it out with the parking attendants, and people were like coming in, going, "Ooh, Kim's out there giving it to them." They started letting people in free. Then they closed parking, said that they had to go down the road to park because that parking was for concert people only at $30. So we were missing out. And then the Fort Worth Gun Show decided to do their show the same day, which was next door at Will Rogers. So we had to fight the gun show. And then TCU had a home game. And we're just like, you know what? It was we watched it. We still had 2,000 through the door. It was a weird setup. It was a live and learn. And so we didn't do Cowtown last year because we specifically were trying to find a location to where nobody had to pay to park.
Yeah.
We're not doing it in Dallas because we're Cowtown. We want Fort Worth. That's the whole thing. We want that area. And then we're like, all right, let's look at these. There's not many locations here in the area. Hearst, we absolutely love. Well, Hearst, to be honest, can't do it there anymore because they now have a food and beverage rate that's like $10,000. It's ridiculous. So we can't do it there. But I love the facility.
Yeah.
They went out, Kim and Caitlin went out and found Waxahachie, 35, 40 minutes south of Fort Worth. Looks just like Hearst. It was modeled. Their facility's modeled after Hearst, same architect. No free parking, hotels in the parking lot, beautiful, or affordable rate, right? So we don't charge an arm and a leg for the booths. Our booth fees stay the same. And so that's Cowtown. And in the dates, we were trying to find the dates for one, World Cup is here this year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So people can do it in October because of World Cup. Also, Fan Expo's moving to October because they're renovating. So they had to move their dates. So we have to find dates that don't coincide with any of the big shows. The one date, July 17th and 18th, was the only weekend they had open in the whole year. That was it. Luckily, unfortunately, it is a week before or 2 weeks before San Diego Comic-Con. It's fine. I mean, we're not hurting anything because we don't have a Jim Lee or somebody like that coming in. So we're not. So we got Cowtown locked in. So now I'm booking people right now, but that's July. So you're talking about Texoma. So Texoma, Durant, Oklahoma. This will be our third year. Different guest lists than we've ever had. The only returning, I'll say, guest I'm bringing back is Sam Jones. He was there year one. He didn't do year two. So he had that buffer. But as far as voice actors and movie people, anybody else, everybody's new, right? We got the Outsiders group, C. Thomas Howell, Darren Dalton. I got Eddie Deason coming in. He was Eugene in Grease. He was in War Games. He was in Fairly Odd Parents as a voice actor. He's done a lot. Everybody's crush from the 80s. Deborah Foreman is coming in for Saturday only. I'm sure I'll be just sitting at her booth the whole time. She's going to need a handler, I'm afraid. So I'll volunteer.
You're doing an 80s theme.
We're doing an 80s theme. So again, we went with 80s guests kind of. We did some 80s guests. Caitlin did find another one that reached out to us, not 80s, but we're bringing him in. His name's JJ Thompson. He's local to that area, but he was in Landman. He was in Lioness. He's helping produce and direct a movie called The Choctaw Fighter that's apparently, and once we announced him, you should see all the comments. Blew up. And this guy's super nice. He's got a huge following and loyal fan base. We're like, all right. He's there. We got a kid coming in that was in the Odyssey with Cillian Murphy, was in Stranger Things. Ooh. He's got pictures. He was an extra, one of the high school kids, right? But a lot of his photos, he's with Eleven and he's with Cillian Murphy, and he's been in some big movies. Joseph Ortega is his name. So he's coming in. And then, of course, you guys are coming, Peter Smith, Tony Rodriguez. Our artist alley is, creators, which I love. And we made some, we're bad people, I guess. We made some people mad this year. Imagine that. Because, I know. Our artist alley are literally limited for
Artists.
creators, comic book creators, novelists, and artists. That's Artist Alley. To me, in my mind, that's what Artist Alley is. So, well,
I was like, who is thinking they
Sticker Alley, let's put it up. Yeah, we're not Sticker Alley. Sorry. And we get messages, well, I create my own stickers. No, sorry. It's a vendor. And the way our guy runs them, that's vendors. You're right. Nothing wrong. Come on out, get a booth, have a great time, have a great show. Love to have you. But Artist Alley, which I've learned over the years doing shows, I've walked shows. I walked shows with both of y'all.
Yep.
And we've gone down Artist Alley. And I've looked and go, how does that constitute Artist Alley?
Yeah, it looks like
how does that idea of, crochet penises?
T-shirts and candles and
yes, it's not Artist Alley. Well, I made it. No, you didn't. You just pulled the Google image and heat pressed it on their shirt. Really?
Or you went to Amazon or wherever and ordered 1,000 stickers for 5 cents a piece.
That's another one that we see.
No, I'm glad you guys do it. Like I said, it's more old school because I agree with you. I do all types of shows across the country, from small shows the size of a gymnasium to stuff as big as New York Comic Con, MegaCon, Fan Expo, et cetera, and everything in between. Like, I don't mind doing different shows. And whether it's small or even large, and it's really gotten ridiculous with large. I'll walk through Artist Alley and it looks like a damn yard sale.
Flea markets. Yep.
It looks exactly what it looks like, flea market. I don't want to see that shit. And I hear it from fans all the time when they're walking through, and I ask them how they're doing. Are you having a good time? Because I ask everybody that. And I've heard it many times. I go, oh, yeah, we're having a pretty good time. There's not as many artists here as I thought they would be. It said they had an Artist Alley, but all I'm seeing is people selling T-shirts. I was in one Artist Alley and some asshole was selling air conditioners.
I know.
Might have been the only place that promoter,
like freezers, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh!
I've been in one where a guy was selling fencing.
Well, hey, we've got some of those people coming out like that. You got it, because it's crazy. But they're not going in Artist Alley. They have to buy a vendor booth. But we have a couple of those vendors coming out, and they've done our show before. Renewal by Anderson. They do windows and stuff, but they do a lot of stuff in Durant. They have a following. They will sell 2 or 3 packages.
Really?
They're vendors. They actually have a special spot up there. Yeah. We have other people that Kim will put in the lobby that are local businesses that will promote their businesses. Like there's a balloon lady that comes out. She'll have a spot in the lobby that she does birthday parties for balloons. Well, guess what? We do the swap. When you walk in, you're going to see an awesome balloon arch like last year at the entrance, right? She makes that for us. Yeah. So we put her up in the lobby. She loves it.
I don't have a problem with people buying vendor booths.
No, I don't either. That's just it.
Deserve to rob an actual legit artist. Now, if you got some little, somebody's got a little bitty show that a lot of people don't know about, and they just have to fill those spots the best they can with whomever they can, and they don't technically have an Artist Alley, because you'll notice that on the smaller shows, it won't say Artist Alley. There's just some artists kind of sprinkled in with everybody. I'm fine with that. But when you're doing these shows where you're paying $500, $600, $800 for tables in Artist Alley, and I walk through there and I'm seeing, some Joe Blow selling air conditioners, or I'm selling this person who's selling, pre-done stickers they bought off the internet, it's bullshit. There's too many artists out there that would have been happy to pay for those tables that got waitlisted because promoters aren't looking at their emails when people apply for tables. And that's one of the things you guys do. You guys do look at your email.
On the form, and they Caitlin and Kim both, they vet them. I mean, on the form, it says, what do you sell? And then they'll literally go on and look them up and say, because they have to make sure that, if a vendor comes out and they have stuff and they have a bad show, right, that can reflect on the word of mouth. Yeah. Not every show is going to be perfect, right? Yeah. No matter how much promoting we're doing. Just like they were up last week, the week before, street teaming it again. They go to Durant all the time. and they'll sit down in a local business, a Chick-fil-A or
Right.
Starbucks. Hey, we're here at such and such pizza, and they'll take a picture and go, hey, come on out. We're giving away free weekend passes. We're here for 30 minutes. Come in and find us. We're at Rib Crib, right? We'll be here for an hour. We're having lunch. And they'll have on Texoma Comic Con hoodies.
Right.
People will walk in. They did it at Chili's. There was people waiting on them by the time they got there because they announced they were coming to Chili's, Texoma Comic Con, and give out. There were people waiting that have been at the shows for to get the free weekend passes. We give out 200 weekend passes, 200 free weekend passes.
Right.
The events on the radio, Kim and I have to go up next week. Was going to be this week, but the weather's pushed everything. Right. So it'll be next week. We're on K10 News during their entertainment section at like 4:00, and then they'll air that on. I think we're going on Wednesday or Thursday, and then they'll air it leading up, and then we'll do another segment the Saturday morning of the show. We'll have to drive from Durant down to Denison, 30 minutes, and we'll be at 6 a.m. on their live show that Saturday morning, promote the show again like we did last year. Yeah. And then we'll drive back and get ready for the show to open. We love that area. And, man, the people come out, which, you know, it's near the casino. And you would think Durant, Oklahoma, okay, small little town. But, my gosh, the people come out. And we love it. Everybody's so friendly. Yeah. They tell us thank you when they leave. We have a great time. We keep the tickets at $20. We want it affordable. Free parking. 10 or 12 food trucks this year, which is our largest food truck crowd, and people love the food trucks. The only thing we ever have to worry about with February, we do that show in February because we get there. It's the first show really out of the gate before all the big ones start. You know, MegaCon will be first weekend of March. Yeah, second weekend of March. This one, February 22nd, 23rd. Nothing's going on around it. We don't have to worry about that. The only thing we have to worry about is like last year, Friday is set up. It was like -2 with ice on the ground. And then that Saturday morning, it was like 15 degrees and super cold. And then all of a sudden it was like 65 degrees Sunday. Yep. So, but it didn't keep the people away. They came out.
It was packed.
So the first year of Texoma, 68 to 70 degrees, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, beautiful skies. Oh, my God, it was amazing. So we're hoping all the cold weather now is done, which it should be in the next 4 weeks, you know, let it push through. But you never know. That's the only drawback to having it in February in southern Oklahoma. It could be a little cold, but it's an indoor event.
Yeah.
You know, it's
you can only get like 1 week of winter. That's it. So we're hoping that this week is the 1 week.
Well, I agree. Yeah, and then it's done. But again, cosplay contests, we'll have panels. We're changing it up. Gabe's Cave will be out there as usual. You guys are out there to do all the shows. So it'll be fun. We're promoting now. They're building reels. Everybody's been promoted. That's an artist. So if you're like, I didn't see me, you're on there. You might not be. They're learning that posting them on all your flyers on the reels get more attention than they do on the regular page because of the way the algorithm works.
Yeah.
So Instagram, they're on the reels, and then on Facebook, they're posting on reels because they're flipping and they're getting more likes because Caitlin will come in and go because she handles that. And she's like, hey, we just got 400 something likes. We posted Lori's reel, you know, and right after that, you had Peter's with it. But that one reel picked up 400 and something to where if we just post it normally on Facebook, it picks up 84 likes.
Yeah.
You know, and we're catching that now. So they're starting to post in more groups. We're sending more tickets out to local comic stores in that area. More flyers are going out. So, I mean, we've got billboards going up, I believe, that'll go 2 weeks before the show. That'll start in the area as well. So we'll do a ton of promoting for that.
Yeah.
That's a fun show.
You got to do. And for anybody's watching that may not understand why we're talking about that, the majority of Comic-Cons, the extent of their promoting is their Facebook page. These guys are driving 2 hours to Durant, Oklahoma to promote locally to businesses and stuff like that. So that's why we kind of, you know, mention it and make a kind of a big deal out of it because they are going above and beyond what most people do. Lori, what do you think about, you've done a good bit of shows as a creator. And you've
not
done
as many as you.
well, I'm OCD with it. So, but you still do a good bit. You and Chris both do. what do you think about that? Do you think that is something that promoters need to start being more mindful about vetting their applications? Because anytime we filled out applications, 9 times out of 10, I have to post a picture of what my booth looks like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and
so
I do that. I do it as well, and I think that's good. But I don't know. Honestly, having never run a show, I don't know. It's like, do you need that variety? But I think that Chris has it right, where it's like you have Artist Alley for artists, writers, creators, and
Yeah.
because there's vendor booths. But the problem is that they're two different prices, right? So
Uh-huh.
that's why everybody's trying to get into Artist Alley. But I think that you can still have the variety and just have them in different sections. I think that's okay. So yeah, I think vetting is important. Like, if it's a Comic-Con, are there comics involved?
Yeah.
Are there comics at
exactly.
Comic-Con?
Yeah.
You saw my post not too long ago. I said, I just made a blanket post. I said, now you do plan on having comic artists at your Comic-Con, right?
Because I did, what was it, Dallas Fan Fest a couple years ago. And it was me and like Deez Casillas. And we were the only 2 independent comic creators that we could find. The whole show. There was 2 of us. Sold a lot of comics, but it's like people didn't know we were there because we were next to candles and, just a lot of other stuff. Why not set up Artist Alley with artists? Yeah, exactly. That's it. And that's the Chris
question.
Yeah.
If it's people who actually create something, I totally get it. But if you went to Amazon and bought 1,000 damn stickers for a nickel a piece and you slap them on a sticker booth, take your ass over to the vendor section. If you got a bunch of t-shirts with random pressed on it, take your ass over to the damn vendor booth. Stop trying to occupy Artist Alley when you're not selling anything you hand created. Artist Alley should be strictly for hand created merch.
No, not even merch. No, not for us. Nope.
No merch. Merch. I'm talking about you created a comic book. You created a book. I didn't now even stickers. If you drew all your own artwork and you're selling stickers of your artwork, I personally don't have a problem with that in Artist Alley. That's no different than people selling prints on a print wall.
Yeah, to us it is.
I can see that. It's iffy. But that, then it's going to be the discretion of the showrunner who gets into that Artist Alley or not. But at least it has to be something comic related at a Comic-Con, I guess, because otherwise just go to a flea market, go to a merch, go to an art festival. You know what I mean? There's places for that.
I don't want to see 3D printed shit.
Now, that's something different. But let me ask you this. Is it easier for you to sell comics when the person next to you is also selling comics? Or it's different for you and I, because you and I are like, I was like, you like this, you like that. Like I wrote this, I wrote that. Like, if you like that art, you'll like this because his art is over here too. That's different. But
I don't have a problem with competition.
No? Okay. I guess it's
because they're not going to outwork me. It's not going to happen. That's
true.
I've been in Pro Row sitting next to some of the biggest names in the industry that's been in the industry 20 plus years, and I outsell them at my table.
There's no such thing as Pro Row. That's a made up term that you made up on your own.
That's a made up
term. That MegaCon last year. I go, we're not on Pro Row, we're on red carpet.
No, that is red carpet. Pro Row is Pro Row.
Yeah, you just need a t-shirt that says I'm Pro Row.
Well, that's the difference. Pro Row means that you were an invited guest.
I know.
You didn't pay for your table. That's Pro Row. And not every con has Pro Row. That's bigger show.
I have a good time selling comics and hot sauce when the people next to me sell candles. Well, I'll just say that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's easy for me to be like, look, I'm not, I'm unique and this. And so.
Okay, so this is going to lead into this, and I got like 5 more minutes, and I'm going to ask y'all this. Now that you just literally brought up, you don't have a problem with competition.
Yeah.
We're looking at another show for 2027.
Okay.
And the whole show is strictly 50 tables, independent creators.
Oh, nice.
No candles, no crafts, no vendors. Independent creators only.
Yep, count me in for that.
Nobody does it.
Nope.
Cheap tables.
When's this one?
Facility around Fort Worth or something, and independent creators. And I mean, and see what it does. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a Comic-Con. The problem is there won't be people like Pastime or whoever coming to set up a booth
Right.
full of comics, right?
Gotcha.
It is literally people like us that are there to sell our stuff.
Yeah.
And you
I
have
think that'd
40
be
or
kinda
50
cool.
independent creators, your artists, your comic people, novelists even, because, you know, they write, so they're going to have
Yeah.
books. That's what it is. I don't know how that would go. May do
Ooh,
great,
I-
right? I mean, it would be a small show, so you're not
Yeah.
expecting 5,000 people would be through the door, but promoted right, good location,
It
it
could
could
work.
do very well. We're looking at that on top of everything else we got going on. So that one we're looking at just to see, because I've talked to a couple other people and they're like, y'all need to do that.
Yeah.
It would hit. You would get people out, because there are a lot of people that like coming to shows to buy independent creator stuff, where they
Yeah.
love art prints, right? I don't sell art prints. Lori, I don't think you sell art prints. You may sell a couple. I don't know.
I have
you
a
know,
couple 11 by 17s, but that's about it.
Yeah, but the people are going to come in the door. Exactly.
want
It's an
books.
indie con. It's an indie
Yeah.
con. I
That
haven't
I
ever
like
seen it
that.
done. Again, there's not, and we're going to get people going, oh, I want to do IndieCon. Well, it is literally independent comic book creators and artists or novelists. That is it. That's all that gets the tables.
Yeah.
Again, we're not going to have, well, I did my own stickers, my own crochet. That's no.
We
Sorry.
love you, but this is not the place.
Yeah, this is not the place for that.
I think
Yes,
it'd
Michael,
be cool.
that too. Letterers, right? Colorists, all that.
Right.
They're creators. They're part of the project.
Right.
So that's something we're looking at putting together, and I'll get with both of you on that as once we get through Texoma, we'll have focused on Cowtown, but we've got that time. But the crazy thing is, the minute that Texoma ends that Monday, we're working on Texoma for 2027 already. But we're going to have that time to go, okay, where's a location for this? It will be in Texas. Sorry, William, you got to drive.
That's okay.
I don't want to drive. So
I drive everywhere. So
I know. So, and again, it's going to be one of those first year.
Yeah. You don't know what could happen.
But hey, you get a few hundred people through the door.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was 100 people on a Saturday for that type of con, that's still 100 potential fans you just met. So it's a great concept. I think it'd be pretty cool. I do want to say one thing about what Tom said, though, and then we'll move on to the other stuff. I do agree with Tom on that one particular thing. If you're going to have crafters in Artist Alley, make half of it artists and the other half crafters. Like, put them together. Like, I do completely agree with that. If you're going to have both, put them together so they're easier to find. But anyway, but yeah, that'll be a great idea.
That would have fixed. I mean, like, again, there was only 2 of us at Dallas Fan Fest, but at least, like, if we could have all been together, people could have been like, "Oh, comic books," and they understand what they're getting, you know.
But so you got creators on here. If you hadn't done our show, Texoma, I mean, I think there's 1 or 2 inline booths left. I mean, and then it's sold out. That's normal. But Cowtown booths are open. You can go to that website and get your tables. Artist Alley is already close to being sold out at Cowtown.
Yeah.
But you know, that one's going to be big again. So we got that one.
Yeah.
So, what Michael's saying, it's hard though. I mean, at Cowtown, we got BTC coming out. He's got a big section. He brings out artists. You have to look at the size of the facility and who all's going to be in that area. I mean, you have to map out your floor plan and say, okay, just like Texoma, people are like, we need more Artist Alley tables. We can't have more artists. We have 25. That's it. Yeah. We allow 25 Artist Alley tables because that's what that holds, right? And it's pretty much you get a 10 by 10 space for artists, which is a lot of space we give. And you even told us, hey, move your tables back.
Yeah,
we'll do a little bit, but then you have to completely redo the whole floor plan. And we added a new row this year, but it's on the very back in front of where the celebrity set. We were able to add a new row there because we had so much gap last year between the two. So we were able to add a new row there. But other than that, that one's ready to go. So we're excited. It'll be a good crowd. You know, come out. We got good guests, great artists, good creators. So I think that show's going to Do what? Yep. 80s, 90s theme from the
Yep,
peanut
80s
gallery in the other room listening.
Kim's telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, about this.
I love that.
Well, we'll wrap this up then, 'cause I know you guys got other stuff to do.
Yep, I got lunch ready, and then we're heading out for a minute. We're going to
Let's
Kohl's.
start with
You're
you,
going
Chris.
out?
Huh?
Yeah, you can drive on the roads. They're not
Oh,
bad. Everybody's
yeah, it's
scared of the roads.
There's nothing open.
We're going to run to Kohl's real quick. No, not Kohl's, the department store. Our son, Cole.
Oh. Okay, yeah, okay. I was like,
He
you
lives
going
10 minutes away.
clothes
so-
shopping?
No,
Same
he lives
thing,
10 minutes away, so we're going to
same
swing
thing.
by there for a little bit.
So, Chris, give them real quick. Give them the dates for Texoma. Give them the dates for Cowtown. Give them a quick rundown of what you just wrapped up, Dollmaker, and then what's your next project that's going to be launching. If you know which one it is and what date.
TexomaComicCon.com, February 21st, 22nd, Durant, Oklahoma. And then CowtownComicCon.com. And then that one is July 17th and 18th in Waxahachie, Texas, just south of Fort Worth. And then my next project after Dollmaker goes out to all the Kickstarter people will be Tales of the Ferryman, which is the short story book. Will be hitting Kickstarter in February, so be looking for that. Lori, I've already got your dates. I know, so I'm not around your path. So because I watch, I'm not. Don't you got Path coming up in February?
I do.
Yeah, you posted.
Me and
it
half
the
the
other
world are going to be live in February.
Yep. I know. So there it is. Her next Path the Pill
February
Rider.
7th.
There it is. So I'm going to be like with Tales the middle of February. So I try to stay 2 weeks away
Right.
from yours. That way
Yeah.
you're already getting a rush. So that way I don't come back over the top of it or anything. So I
I
try to
know.
stay 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
And then Psycho Sal Omnibus launches February the 14th for all you lovers.
Son of a bitch, that's when I was launching mine. All right. So maybe I'll just launch mine anyways. So
Launch it. Mine's different. Mine's an omnibus, so that's different. It ain't. It's a whole different ballgame.
no, and mine's different too. So mine's just a short story book. The short story, it's a hardcover, $25 will be it. It's one cover. I mean, it's one book.
Nice.
There's
For a hardcover.
And then Dollmaker's at the printer right now. You said, I believe. So,
it's at the printer. It's ready to go. But I got a bell. It's always
Yep.
good talking to y'all.
Yeah, you too, Chris. Thank you.
We'll do it again in an hour. Okay.
Yep.
Bye.
All right, later, bud.
Bye.
All right, and then Miss Lori, you can go ahead and give them your little spiel because Path of the Pale Rider #8.
Rider, we are ready to go. Let's fucking go, right? We're ready. February 7th, please make sure you're signed up for pre-launch. I got a couple things that I have in my sleeves. So I've been making these little tiny mini books.
Yep.
I'll show you the size because I have an example one here. These tiny little mini books. I've been making for different covers. And so I have Path of the Pale Rider ones that I will give to everybody for free if we get to 100 pre-launch signups. So
Nice.
trying to get there. I think we need about 24 more people.
All right, guys. Get your ass over there to the pre-launch. Notify me of launch.
Yeah, it's all it does. There's no like you're not forced into anything. It's just signing up for pre-launch. It helps our algorithm to push us out once it goes live. But we have a ton of exclusive things where I have like homemade mugs, and I got Big James onesies and bracelets made by a fan, or at least Cameron. I'm gonna make those because I have permission to do that.
Yep.
So yes, there will be Psycho Sal ones out there. You just have to secretly know how to get them. Hint, hint. So just we're ready to go. I'm really looking forward to this issue. Yep. There's a lot of good things coming, and we are downhill to the answer of what broke Death. So we had all the big excitement in #7, and now we are like, if you pay attention, you can figure it out. So
nice.
Let's go. I'm ready.
And then, of course, you on this Kickstarter for the first time ever, you've got the Angry Path bundle.
You got the 3 new covers, yep. Right? And then the Angry Path bundle, which is issues 1 through 8, which is actually a total of 9 covers. Yep. That'll all be bundled together so you can have the full William Russell Path of the Pale Rider experience in one box. And these are really, I don't know, I'm swearing a lot, but it's fucking cool box that I'm going to send you with a lot of merch in it. So sign up for that 100%. I know people are going to love that. And then if you are missing any one of the William Russell variants, like you've gotten some in the past, I mean, you got like 3, 5, and 7, I am going to make all the previous William Russell variants available as add-ons, so you can fill in
Right.
the gaps. So it's the only time I'm gonna do that. Usually, I don't have variants from previous issues available. This is your chance. Get them all, because then we're moving forward. 9, 10, 11, 12. We will
Yep.
also have William Russell covers.
Yep,
Mhm.
sure will. And guys, like I said, I can't stress it enough. Make sure you hit the notify me button on the Kickstarter, um, because these covers that you're looking at, most Kickstarters, you don't see that type of thing. I don't even do them on Psycho Sal. You don't get any access to previous cover artist covers.
Right.
So make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you grab the bundle. Make sure you grab whatever covers you might be missing, so you have the whole run. Definitely make sure you're reading it and you're posting about it and you're talking about it if you enjoyed the book. And then Lori, what upcoming shows do you have?
I'm gonna
Believe
be
your
at
next
Texoma. Hell
Texoma?
yeah, I'm gonna be at Texoma. And we forgot to tell Chris, put me next to William, please.
Yeah, I already told him. So he's supposed to have you and me
He's
next to each other so we can
I
do signings for books.
I would assume so, but I just, we never know.
Yeah,
We always
yeah.
like to
I
be,
won't.
next to each other because, yeah, I sign his books, he signs my books. It just makes it so much easier instead of having to, like, walk people around and da 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 da.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're both gonna be at Texoma, and then, are you going to Mockingbird Lane?
Yes, I'll be there at that one too.
I'll be there as well, so I'll be there
Yeah,
for that.
March is gonna be stupid busy for me. I've got a show every single weekend of March.
Oh
I
my
will
lord.
only be home, I think, 5 days out of the entire month. Yeah,
That's crazy. You're
yeah,
crazy, but
that one's
you're
gonna
that
be
special
interesting.
kind of crazy where we applaud you and then say, "Wow, that's nuts."
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be crazy. But okay, so we'll see you at Texoma. Then in
Yep,
March we'll see you at Mockingbird Lane.
yep.
You're launching. What was the date again? You're launching
February
Pathfinder Rider number 8 on what date?
February 7th,
Yeah.
7. It's a Saturday. We do a live stream, a live launch, so tune in for that. I will walk people through because I have all those cool exclusives. I show people where they are before we launch it. So be queued up and ready to go, because even if you're signed up for the pre-launch email, that's great. But if you're not watching the show and you're gunning for that mug or you're gunning for the bracelets or the bear suits that are exclusive, they go in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And so
Okay.
if you're not watching the show and watching me push the live button, there's a good chance that you're going to miss out on those exclusive things. So,
Yeah, yeah. Because again, guys, please keep that in mind. The
oh,
majority of stuff you see on our Kickstarters is limited printed stuff.
yeah,
It's limited quantities. We don't just
blood
print
medals.
come home. Even on random stuff, whether it's t-shirts or hats, or like we tend to do things a little different than most people because we want the items you get to have some actual value to them instead of just printing them till the cows come home or making
Yeah.
them,
And with me, I have a lot of merch, but it's stuff that, like, I want, and I have to wait for it to go on sale, and I might buy, like, 2 extra. So I have these Big James fleece blankets that are gorgeous. They're 50 by 60 inch, and I wanted one for myself, but I figured if I wanted it, so would someone else.
right.
And so there's 2 that are gonna be on the campaign, and the only reason they're there is because I thought they were so freaking cool, but I can't afford to mass produce them. You know what I
No.
mean? So it's stuff like that. So if you want some of these really cool things, then tune into the live launch because you'll get your hands on stuff if you're quick.
Yep, yep.
Mhm.
And then don't forget, guys, my next show is the first weekend of February, which sadly I'll be at a show on the 7th. I'll be at
Ah,
Akron, Akron Namacon in Akron, Ohio.
going to
Um,
Ohio.
yeah, no lie. I hope this
Woo!
weather comes before then. And
Yeah.
then I'll be, the that month I'll also be at Texoma with Lori and all the other guys and folks at that one. But don't forget, February the 14th, we launch the Psycho Style Omnibus. So that will be a collector's edition of issues 1 through 9. And a heads up, issue number 9 is at the printer. We're just being stalled a little bit because of the weather, but they are in the process of getting stuff printed. They'll be back in their offices this coming week at some point. because I'm having books printed in Arizona and I'm having books printed in New York. So the New York could be delayed a little bit because of this crazy weather, but issue 9 is at the printer. But this will be a collector's edition, brand new cover art I did for you guys, beautiful colors by Dave Kemp. And this will be the collector's editions, like I mentioned, of 1 through 9. It will have a trade paperback type cover, and then there will be a hardback cover version of it also. So that is February the 14th. So be ready for that one. Anything else you want to tell them, Miss Lori, where they can find you and stuff like that, or about your podcast, etc.?
Yeah, man, I'm all over the place. I'm on a lot of different platforms. I post a lot on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And so you can see it's still gonna be frozen. But I I have a podcast every week that's called the Tuesday Morning Brew, and I host independent creators, writers, artists, ventriloquists, musicians, actors, you name it, are all on the show, and we have a good time. So tune into that every week. And you can check out my TikTok. I rebind books, I rip off covers, I bake bread, I make hot sauce, I 3D print. I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you can see all of that on the TikTok. So
yeah, if you guys thought I do too damn much, no, she's got her hand. And if you haven't tried her hot sauce, it's actually really damn good. I'm a big hot sauce guy. So and so is Andrea. So we love her hot sauce.
Yeah.
I got it on the last Kickstarter, and I think Andrea got it on the last Kickstarter. So
yeah,
definitely check out that too. But yeah, thank you so much, Lori, for being here with me and hanging out. Thank you, Chris, for being here when you could. Guys, I can't stress it enough. Go check out these books that we've talked about. You guys should know me well enough by now. I don't talk about or promote stuff that I don't have faith in or that I don't think you guys would enjoy. I don't promote for the sake of promoting. So go check out Path of Pale Rider. Go check out Chris's books with the Doll Maker and Don't Pay the Ferryman and his Ferryman Tales and all these spin-off. Be ready for Nut Brigade #3 coming soon. Go check out Psycho Sal if you hadn't. I guarantee it's going to be one hell of a ride. That series is done for the 1 through 9. So I'll have issue 9 here in hand, hopefully in the next couple weeks or so. But yeah, you guys have a great day. Thank you for hanging out with us. And thank you, Miss Lori.
Absolutely.
Take
Thanks
care,
for hosting
guys.
on the
Be
show.
good.
Bye, everybody.